Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi Otts here. It's Friday, and I wish I was coming in to just talk about the 4 new players that we acquired last night in the second night of the draft. One drafted, 3 signed after the draft, and we'll go over them so you guys know about them. We did get a center, guys. We did get a center late last night, but there's been a bomb dropped like 5 minutes before my show today that MLSE is parting ways with Masai Ujiri this morning. And I know it's official because the people are saying it in the right places. Blake Murphy's reported it. Josh Lewenberg has reported it. Shams has reported it originally. And this is messed up. In some ways, guys, I don't want to totally concentrate on this breaking news this morning because that's not what I was prepared to talk about today. And in some ways, I'm going to be honest, I'm in denial. I know it's probably true, but I just want to live in a world for one more day where Masai Ujiri still runs the Toronto Raptors. And this is a day I never wanted to come. And I've talked about this for a long, long time on this channel, the full 4 years I've been here, that it's not a good day when Masai leaves the Raptors, guys. So this is a really bad day in some ways. And people that don't like the Raptors are happy. And you know what? This smacks of, I'll say this smacks of Brandon Shanahan and the Leafs and cutting down positions. That's what this is probably, guys. Now, we could speculate that there was maybe some friction on the draft as far as who was picked to be picked. I speculated that in some ways maybe Masai was very much wanting Malawatch, but he didn't get what he wanted. I don't know. That could be true, guys. What if he wanted Common really bad and Rogers told Bobby Webster, no, you're gonna get the Colin Murray Boyles kid? You know, the fact that the Raptors drafted 2 undersized players and their 2 draft picks this year is a red flag to me in some ways. Is a red flag to me in some ways. Now, I know that Colin's probably a great player and he's going to be fantastic, but there's something weird about this. There's something weird about this. And yeah, this is shocking. Masai had another year on his contract, and if he was going to leave, it would have been, next year, hopefully. But they went ahead and said, no, we'll go ahead and part ways now, which is messed up, man. I'm going to say this right now. In some ways, anybody who's celebrating today with Ujiri going out, you're a fucking piece of shit. And you do not understand the Toronto Raptors and what this franchise has been the last 15 years and how much he had an impact on it. Anybody who's dancing around this morning that Masai has been gone, you're part of the fucking enemy. You're part of the problem in our fan nation, and you're not a fan. You can fuck right off, seriously. So everybody said, oh, this should have been happening a long time ago. He's been coasting on Kawhi for so long. All your bullshit you're saying, fuck you. I will officially say that personally from me to you. Fuck you if you're enjoying Masai leaving the Raptors this morning. Very much visible 2-finger salute for you. And yeah, fuck you. This is what I'm going to say right now. Anybody who's dancing around like, oh, Masai's gone, fuck you. And like the biggest fuck you I can give you ever on this channel. Fuck you. How about that? And Ed Rogers, I have to give you a big fuck you too. I'm pretty sure that you have a big, big part in this. And, if the whole idea is that you guys want to cut a position, are you guys anti-DEI like Donald Trump? You just want to fucking, get rid of some people? I don't know what the fuck you guys are doing there. We got 2 really good people that left this week, Savannah Hamilton and Masai Ujiri. And there's weird overtures in both those moves, honestly. Of course, the Masai move is huge. It's huge. And, it's weird that this week we saw a lot of, we did see Bobby Webster come out and talk after the draft. This mean that Bobby Webster will be the GM with no team president over him. And that probably Keith Pelly is the middle guy between ownership, Ed Rogers, and the GM, Bobby Webster, for now. That's the crazy thing. I don't want there to be continued fallout where somehow, some way we lose Bobby also. So this is some bullshit, man. This is some bullshit right here. This is a sad day in the Raptors history, and this is not a good day. And anybody who thinks this is a good thing in any kind of way, you're wrong. I know it isn't a good thing. Because listen, Masai Ujiri is the captain who steered the ship for the Raptors through their most successful period of their whole entire franchise. And in some ways, don't discount how important he was for this. And I think this is a fucking idiotic move by Rodgers. And you're going to really pay for this in the end, because honestly, I hope we don't pay for it as fans, because we want to see good teams for the Raptors in the future. And we don't want to see bullshit, half-ass running team where you just make profit and you don't care about competing. And that is something you've shown with your Blue Jays team, Ed Rodgers. So I don't want to see any of that kind of action around our team. And in some ways, hopefully the Raptors brand, the Raptors team, the Raptors organization has gotten a good culture dose of what Masai brought to here with We the North and everything that's happened here. And it will continue still, that we will be able to keep this culture and this feel, even in the absence of his leadership. This is absolute horse crap. This is not what I expected to see this morning, a shams bomb about Masai out with MLSE. And in some ways, I fucking deny it right now. I'm going to be in the stages. Yeah, and the first one's denial. And I'm in denial. Fuck this shit. This shit ain't happening. Now, is he going to be going to LA like people are speculating? Because now that the Lakers are owned by the same ownership group as the Dodgers, is this true? Is it going to come out that maybe it's like, you know what? Masai wanted to stay in Toronto, but Ed Rodgers was a dick. And he said, you're done, Masai. I'm sorry. You did your draft last night and you're done. I'm sorry. We no longer need your services. We're parting ways with you. You know, I don't think he got fired. In some ways, they talked about it. They gave him the dignity. And they're saying that they respectfully parted ways. Well, I mean, could it be that Masai was using leverage? And the new report with the new Lakers ownership that, you know, the Lakers may be coming to pay me more money to steal me because I'm that guy, like that Brian guy from Tampa in baseball. And I'm that guy that could run the Lakers and make them a better team in the long run. I'm that guy who has connections to Rich Paul, LeBron, and Clutch. And that I may need to go and run the Lakers instead of Rob Pelinka very, very soon. I don't know. We'll have to see. That may be the next move that's coming up here. I'm going to be very disappointed and sad because just a couple weeks ago, I was saying that Masai Ujiri is loyal to Toronto and he wouldn't want to run any other team other than us. I believe that may be true still. We'll have to see. But it could very well be, you know, he wants to do some more in the NBA and he wants a new challenge. And he will be going to another franchise. It's very likely it'll be the Lakers, guys. And that sucks. That sucks in all kinds of different ways. In some ways, I hope if he is going to run the Lakers, well, he doesn't have to run the Lakers with LeBron on the team. And he can actually run the team correctly. And who knows? I might even root for the Lakers vicariously through Masai if he does end up getting hired by them. I'm reeling from this, guys. Seriously, this has been just found out in the last half hour and right before I'm going on live. All right, let's see what you guys are saying this morning in the chat, and we'll try and pull it together to do the stream today with the ominous news that just came out this morning. I want to cover these guys that got drafted and taken to the Raptors last night because they're very interesting. In some ways, this kind of is a weird kind of sequence of events. Raptors pass on Common Malawach, draft Colin Murray-Boyles. Then the next night, they pass on Maxime Renaud, and they draft Alijah Martin of the Florida Gators, who's a national champion and has been described as one of the pound-for-pound best athletes in this draft that we just completed last night. The man's not big. He's like 6'1". He's not a point guard. He's a shooting guard, but the man can jump like Russell Westbrook in his prime. The man would put posters on two people at once. The man is being touted as the second most important player on the Florida Gators national team behind Walter Clayton Jr. He's a guy who's a defensive tenacity, who's crazy. His offensive game isn't as good, but his defense is amazing. So we got another dog in Alijah Martin. He's going to be kind of in that similar vein of Jamal Shed and Davion Mitchell. Is just a hounding, annoying guy that if you're going against him, he's going to really make an impact. That's the thing. He has an energy that's intimidating and tenacious and makes people have a hard time. Let's just put it that way. So it's an interesting pick. I'm not a big fan of the Gators, but they are the national champions. And, a lot of people are coming out of the woodworks once again and vouching for these young guys that we drafted, and Murray Boyles and Martin. Florida Atlantic is the school he went to before Florida in his senior year and winning the championship. And the Florida Atlantic people are excited because he is the first ever player from Florida Atlantic to ever be drafted into the NBA. And they've come here and they're saying, we're buying his jersey and we love Elijah Martin. And, you got a good one here. So this is the thing. Both these players the Raptors drafted the last 2 days are players where their fan base really believe in them, like where they're coming from, whether it's South Carolina or Florida Atlantic, that these guys are dogs and they want to go out of their way to come and tell Raptors fans what we got coming. And that's a good sign. So, yeah, it's weird. 2 undersized players in the draft, but they're both very defensive oriented. And they're probably very good playoff kind of players. And that's what Dan Tolzman was kind of saying in the press conference earlier this week, that it's kind of like they're going to be good players when it counts, when it's winning time, when we get into playoffs, because these guys do this kind of stuff. That's right. James is here first. I miss Trevor. I don't know what's going on with Trevor. I hope that there's no kind of issues in his life right now that are taking him away from the channel that he has that are serious right now. Let's just put it that way. Commissioner Jay, we're thinking about you and we hope you're all right. James is saying good off-ball guard. 3 and D is what you need when you're playing with Barnes, Ingram, and RJ. Yeah, this is the thing. This kid is Elijah Martin is not a point guard, guys. He's an off guard, and that means when he's in lineups, he'll need to be possibly with Scotty or RJ or Emmanuel or Jamal Shed, and he'll be kind of playing the 2. Even though he's 6'1". Now, I don't see Elijah playing a whole lot on the Raptors this year. I think that he should get the full run of the 905 and being their captain and running that team down there as much as possible. The thing with Murray Boyles and Elijah, they both are in positions that are going to light a fire under people that are above them on the depth chart. It's like Scotty and Jonathan and Jamal and Emmanuel. That, these guys are very competitive and dogged kind of guys, and they're going to raise up the bar and, keep these guys that are been here already a little bit more competitive on their toes to be ready to deal with these dogs coming in, because they're both dogs. Murray Boyles and Martin, very much dogs. And that'll be interesting to see what's going on there. Kaz is here. Trucker Kaz, good morning, Lex and Raptor Free Crew. Good morning. Not a really good morning. I'm going to be honest right here. Not a good morning. I'll say morning, Kaz, but I can't put that good on there. This is a sad day in Raptors history, and I think it's full of shit, honestly. I'm pissed off, and I would go off more about it, but I'm still kind of processing it. And in some ways, as time goes on, we'll talk more about why this happened this morning and what the hell happened exactly. We want the real deal, Holyfield details on what the fuck, why Masai's leaving a year early on his contract this morning. Because this is bullshit, man. I'm going to say this right now. This is bullshit. James is saying we may be copying the Oklahoma City strategy. I think this is true. In some ways, the copycat league is kind of like, let's see the flavor of the NBA that's winning this year. And it's Oklahoma City and Indiana getting the finals. And in some ways, we got some of that team offensive concept from the Pacers is similar. And, well, we want to get some of that Caruso, Lou Dort kind of Cason Wallace kind of defensive kind of stuff, too. And Elijah Martin is in that vein. And so is Colin Murray Boyles. And also the guy they picked up on their 2-way after the game, after the draft. They picked up a kid from Wisconsin. He's the ACC Defensive Player of the Year, and his name is Chucky Wepner. Chucky Wepner is like a swing. He's a wing, and he's pretty impressive. He's another one of these guys. Like, they got 3 very defensive-oriented players. Chucky Wepner, the Atlantic Coast Conference Defensive Player of the Year for the ACC, guys, from Wisconsin. Yeah, Chucky's interesting, man. He's got he's got some interesting tricks to him also. But these are very dogged players. They're very good at stealing the ball, is what it is. Like, all 3 of these guys are going to get tons of steals. Murray Boyles, Martin, and Wepner. Wepner being the 2-way. We signed him to a 2-way. So he's going to be on our team unless he screws up in summer league and training camp on our 905 and two-way. Chucky Wepner is his name. We also got the center last night, guys. Late last night, we did go ahead and invite Clifford Omarui to our summer league roster. He's 6'11", and he played for Rutgers, and he's also played for Alabama. And he's a big player. He's a big player. He's got a long wingspan. To me, Clifford reminds me of Montrezl Harrell. He's got a lot of this, like, he not only with just the hairstyle, but also the way he leaps around the basket and has long arms and kind of just throws it down in power in traffic. That's a lot of what I saw with Omarui, Clifford. So now we may have two Omaruis around the 905 this year. And apparently they're friendly. They're not related, but they apparently are friendly because, Clifford is Nigerian, much like Eugene, but he's not Canadian like Eugene is. But Clifford Omarui is the center we got last night, 6'11". And like I said, his style of play is very Montrezl Harrell-esque. He's got a very powerful game around the basket, and he doesn't mind if there's traffic around him. He will use power and dunking on people, like right around the basket. The fifth player we picked up last night is a guy named Tyson, who went to Boise State, and he's a 6'8" power forward. And Tyson Degenhart of Boise State, 6'8" power forward who shoots threes. And he's got a wide body, and he's kind of a goofy guy. He's a long shot. He's going to be coming in for a summer league, may only play for summer league for us. He's got a podcast on at Boise State where he interviews athletes and different people around the Boise State campus. So Tyson Degenhart is the fifth player that the Raptors kind of put a tab on for summer league roster, and he's a 6'8" three-point specialist. So we did get a shooter. So we kind of did get all five positions in the draft at the end, kind of like what we did last year. We got a point guard, we got a shooting guard, we got a small forward, we got a power forward, and we got a center, all in the last 2 days on the down low. Now, three of those guys came after the draft was over, and that would be Degenhart, Omarui, and Wepner. Yeah, and those guys would be the power forward, the center, and the shooting guard. And then the small forward, the center, and the shooting guard. Yeah, and then we got Murray Boyles and Martin as the draft picks. Yeah, this is crazy, man. This is crazy. Defense wins championship? That's right. That's right. And we're getting very defensive players, but I'm really worried that we need more offensive good shooters. And in some ways, the Raptors kind of went this way where we really put a lot on defense through the draft, and we kind of didn't have a good offense for a couple of years. So I'm a little bit worried about that. Also, some of the strategy about not drafting a center high, like not getting Common or Maxim, is, there's a lot of talk around the NBA right now about centers and how important they are for like late drives in the playoffs. There's a certain point where, Philadelphia can't play Joel Embiid. There's a certain point where New York can't play Cat. There's a certain point where Oklahoma City can't play Hartenstein. And what happens is if you spend a premium draft pick on a center, you may be spending it on a guy who won't even be there in the important parts where you really need to win because you can't play a center at that time because it's small ball. So a lot of GMs are using this kind of thought process on not really stocking the center position as much. In some ways, the Raptors want to get the value piece at the positions that are more likely to play in clutch times at high levels in the playoffs. And spend the number 9 pick on Malawach, who's a project who may not come for a couple of years, may bust out completely, may not actually be able to be played in crunch time and playoffs because of what I'm just saying. That's a lot of the reasoning I think is going on here with the not valuing getting centers for the Raptors right now. It's kind of annoying. I see it as an easy fix, and I agree with you guys. And it's kind of scary to go with only one center depth kind of lineup with Jakob being the end-all be-all. I get it, man. I get it. This is so crazy today. So crazy. Reggie's saying, interesting that the Raptors did not take a 5 with their second-round pick. There was a Stanford center available, and they still passed. I know. And honestly, I'm wondering if this news this morning is part of the reason why the draft was so weird. Like, the draft was just damn weird. let's just put it this way. The draft was weird by who the Raptors picked. We showed an old habit that we used to do when we were younger as a franchise of drafting undersized players in the draft, which I'm not for. I'm really not for it in some ways. I mean, Colin Murray-Boyles may be special and it may be all right, but Elijah Martin has no long-term NBA career in front of him for the most part. Partly because he's in the wrong position at the wrong height. And in some ways, he has to be super special if he's going to get his claws into an NBA career and stick around. Honestly, he really, really does. So I don't get this, man. I could speculate right now that in some ways there was friction and conflict within the Raptors front office around this draft, and that Masai may have not been agreeing with what we did. And that in some ways, well, it led to this. And it could very well be it was on purpose. It could very well be, and I hate to say it, I don't want to think that Bobby was against Masai in this whole thing, but maybe Rodgers was in the middle of it. And, you know, I don't know. Keith Pelly, you said you let basketball people make basketball decisions. I hope you stood true to that in the last 3 days. Let's just put it that way. I hope you stayed true to that in the last 3 days. Because in some ways, the fingerprints around this draft don't necessarily have Masai's on them. In some ways, this is not. I don't think this is who Masai was going to draft. I think he might have drafted Common, and that something weird happened in a power struggle in the Raptors front office. And, well, the aftermath is partly Masai's leaving. So this is messed up. Honestly, this draft was so weird between the Raptors drafts picks and also the trades and all the stupid trades going every which way. It was really hard to suss out who actually was going anywhere. And in the end, you know, you had to go and look at ESPN's final draft grades. And, you know, Raptors didn't do too bad. We got a B. The Raptors got a B for their 2 picks with Martin and Murray-Boyles. And, you know, Celtics got a C minus. New Orleans got an F. You know, there are a lot of teams that did worse than us with B minuses and C's and D's and F's. So a lot of the experts think we did really good in this draft, guys. And that's a good sign. That's a good sign. There's a lot of people coming out saying, whoa, I really like what the Raptors did with their draft. They got better defensively. That's really what we did. We got better defensively. Yeah. Yeah. Who am I to question the front office? So we'll see. I don't know. I'm questioning the front office right now, partly because the front office just changed this morning. And what if there was some sort of conflict during the draft between personalities and people as far as what their wants were for what the Raptors should do, and decisions were made, and maybe somebody wasn't allowed to be the boss anymore, and they walked away this morning, partly because of this mutually parting ways. Seriously, man, there's a lot of ways we can speculate this until we get some concrete answers about why this happened and what has just fucking happened this morning, this sad fucking day for the Toronto Raptors franchise. We won't find out. I'm going to stand with Masai. I know that Masai is the one that knew how to run this team right. And I think that Ed Rodgers and Rodgers Communications, you fucking pieces of shit. If you pushed out Masai a year early for the great contract we had him on, fuck you, Ed Rodgers. Fuck you is what I'll say. Yeah, that's what I'll say. The straight goods on Canadian goods. I'm going to promote a bell company called Crave. Y'all don't get American streaming services like Netflix. Don't even get cable with Rogers anymore. Just get Crave and get all your entertainment through Bell Media. And Crave is a Canadian streaming service. So you'll be supporting Canadian media company in Crave. So subscribe to crave.ca today and get all the great Canadian content and Canadian programming along with other great stuff on Crave. That's your straight goods on Canadian goods. Fuck you, Rogers. Cable, you fucking cancel your cable today, Raptors fans. Fuck those motherfuckers. That's right. Hit them where it hurts. Fuck you, Rogers. Cancel your cable right now. That's right. Nako saying Shams just posted. Yeah. Y'all are all trying to be breaking news all at the same time. And I'm like, all right, motherfuckers. I saw this before any of y'all told me. And everybody's coming in the comments saying, oh, this, and this. I seen it. I seen it on Reddit. That's where I saw it. And it was Shams. It's official Shams. All right, is this true? I went to Blue Skies and Blake was talking about it already. So it's like, yeah, it's true. If Blake's talking about it, it's true. Josh Lundberg started talking about it too. It's true. And I can go read their tweets about this right now. It's saying Josh Lundberg saying it's not entirely surprising given Ujiri's contractual situation and the recent changes atop MLSE, but very strange timing. The morning after the draft. Yeah, it's like Masai. I don't think that Masai made these picks and that his power was taken from him. And then he was like, well, if you don't want me to be involved in how we make these picks, then why am I even here? And they were like, yeah, you're exactly right. Why are you even here? And then boom, they said, we're parting ways, both of them mutually. I hope that Masai's not pissed and he's going to go somewhere else with some anger and try and run a team like really, really well to spite Rodgers. I mean, I hope that's not what's going to happen like a player, where we drop a player and then they're like a Raptor killer afterwards. No, we don't need this from Ujiri, guys. He loves us and we love him. And we did something really special here. And this is a sad day either way. But we'll have to see what happens next. Masai's going to land on his feet no matter what. We know this. We know this. But, man, this is a messed up day, man. The Shams official tweet said, Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment and Masai Ujiri have decided to part ways as Ujiri was entering the final year of his contract, sources tell ESPN. Well, now they're licking their chops. Atlanta Hawks, Landry Fields' birthday today. He got fired by them. That's right, Landry Fields, happy birthday, former Raptor Landry Fields. Well, is Masai Ujiri coming to run the Hawks now? The Hawks seem like they got their shit together a little bit on this draft. A lot of people saying good things about the Hawks. But, yeah, this is some bullshit, man. Blake Murphy saying Masai Ujiri is out as president of the Raptors per Shams. All right. This was always a possibility with 1 year left on his deal and ownership changes. But, damn. Yeah, I think we're all reeling about this today. If any of us are, like, totally okay with this or feeling it, like, we're all shocked. Media, people that work for the Raptors, the players, everybody is shocked right now. The fans are shocked. We're all shocked. Like, this is not something we had on our bingo card getting up this morning on June the 27th, 2025. Masai Ujiri parting ways with the Raptors. Fuck this shit. Fuck this noise. Fuck this noise so much. Bullshit from this. All right, I'm going to read more of Lewinberg's tweets on Blue Skies right here. Josh, you've been doing a great job. I appreciate it. The Raptors were an NBA afterthought when Ujiri took over in 2013, a punchline, 5-year playoff drought. One playoff series win in their existence. Every star that they ever had forced their way out since. 8 playoff appearances, 9 series wins, 1 championship. He completely reshaped their culture and image. That's right. This man was to our team what Popovich and Riley were to their franchises. They shaped the culture. That's what I'm saying. And why the fuck would you get rid of the culture setter, Ed Rodgers, you fucking piece of shit? Ujiri turned the Raptors into a world-class organization, shifting the way other teams and players viewed the Toronto. His legacy is the way he changed how the market views itself. His pride and passion for this team country, the way he lifted up. We the North. That's how he'll be remembered. You're damn right. This man will be a hero. This man will be a sports hero. He's maybe the greatest sports executive in the history of Toronto sports for all the fucking teams. He may be the best sports executive the 416 has ever seen. This bullshit that we're hearing this morning. That's right. Josh saying, with that said, the last 5 years have been bumpy. Yeah, the 171 to 229 record, 1 playoff appearance, missteps and poor asset management, internal development. Rival execs have described Ujiri as being hard to deal with, citing his ego. It was time for a chance, and writing was on the wall. Time for a chance. He didn't even write change with the MLSE ownership change. Man, I don't agree with this, Josh. I don't think it was time for a change. I don't think it was time for a change. Doug Smith chiming in on this. Well, this has turned into a day. Masai Ujiri, the most recognizable Toronto sports executive ever, is, and that's not an understatement, in the global context, is out. Absolutely bullshit, man. With a year left on his contract, things were going ahead, but still, this is a stunner to happen this way. Now, there's no denying Ujiri's impact on the franchise since returning from Denver in the mid-2010s. The Raptors were never going to be big players in the coming NBA free agency period. Talks can start Monday, and Bobby Webster is more than capable, but the workload for him, Dan Tolzman, and the other front office residents got a bit heavier. Yeah, wow. Wow. Blake Murphy's saying, obviously in the wait and hear with a lot of it all, I think some reading between the lines is fairly simple at this stage, talking about the Masai thing. Michael Grange with his own 2 cents here, motherfucking mouthpiece of Ed Rodgers. Let's see what he's saying officially. Confirming Masai Ujiri is out as president and vice chairman of the Raptors. He's confirming it like he's the fucking official. Ujiri was entering final year of his 5-year contract. The move brings to a close one of the most impactful eras any executive has had in Canadian sports, peaking with 2019 NBA title. So Grange, just very medical and surgical, very unfeeling, very cold with his fucking bullshit tweet here. Seriously, man. What is this bullshit, man? So yeah, there we go. We're looking at the tweets live from the Toronto media confirming this bullshit today, man. That's right. Masai is out. That's crazy. Why? Well, because Rogers owns the company now, and Masai is out per Shams. This fucking bullshit, man. Yeah, Shams didn't say news came out like 9 a.m. Yeah, Shams tweet. I saw the Shams tweet first, is what I saw first. That's right. And I saw it on Reddit. Reggie saying everything's on the table now. Masai going to join the Lakers front office, perhaps. Well, that's the first thing I jumped to. But the first rumor out is Atlanta. The first rumor out is Atlanta, and maybe the Lakers or ownership hasn't gone through yet. They won't get their ownership through by the end of the year. Maybe it'll line up just right. Then he's going to get hired by them. But I wouldn't say either one. Who knows? Hopefully he doesn't go work for anybody else. Seriously. Masai, go run the Basketball Africa League, or like get into politics, or head to the front office of the NBA. Seriously. Those three options I would much rather you do than go and run another NBA team after us. Seriously. You did something beautiful here, something perfect in some ways. And you know what? I don't think you can match the beauty of what you did here in Toronto somewhere else. And I don't want you to say that and piss you off, and then you want to go try and do it. I'm just saying, man, this is a special geographical location, Toronto Raptors. And what you did here was really, really special. And if you go to the Hawks, it ain't going to feel like that, man. Trust me. It ain't going to fucking feel like that. You go to the Lakers, well, maybe it'll feel like that a little bit, especially if you bring glory to that franchise. But it won't be the same. And it won't be like what you did here, man. It won't be like that at all, man. We'll have to see. Yeah. He probably got a better offer. No, I don't think it is that. I don't think it's that he got a better offer or anything like that. I don't think it's anything like that. I think that Rogers, as soon as he got full ownership of the team, that this was going to happen at some point. It's just that maybe in some ways Ed Rogers wanted to give him, a good closing point, not make it so abrupt like Michael Malone's firing of the Denver Nuggets as the head coach. Maybe they were like, yeah, they may have even planned to sabotage him on this draft. Like, seriously, I wouldn't put it past fucking Rogers and their bullshit that they got in the war room, and all of a sudden, override by the owners telling the front office who they need to pick. And Masai's like, well, why am I even here? I'm telling you, this may be what it is. Seriously, this may be what it is. I don't think he's been outbid or anything like that. I don't think it's anything like that, because I think it's too early. It's about making things toxic here, and Rodgers getting a reason to part ways with him. And I think that's probably more is. This is way too early that he's got a better offer. Now, if we hear that he got a new job like within the next week, maybe that's true. But I don't think it is. I think that this is something that in some ways he walked into that they wanted him to walk into no matter what. And I think that the draft picks kind of are the things you can say that are kind of, these aren't Masai kind of draft picks in some ways. In some ways, they're not. They're more like old school draft picks that the Raptors would have made before Masai was here. Yeah, Reggie can't believe it. I can't believe it. Yeah, not Masai. I know, Bryce. It's bullshit, man. This is a bad day. This is a bad day for Raptors fans. This is absolute horse shit, man. And I told everybody, I've been telling it for years, the day that Masai leaves is not a good day, Raptors fans. It is not. And all you idiots that think that he needed to go and you were calling for him to get fired, fuck you people, because you added to the noise that got us to this day. So fuck you, Raptors Nation, that we're calling for Ujiri to be fired. Fuck you all. You're not good fans, and you don't know what's good for our franchise. Trust me, you don't. You don't. So we're saying, but if there was any instance that he was going to be relieved of his duties, why allow him to be part of the draft process? So many questions. Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think that they did allow him to be part of the draft process. Think about this, Reggie. Think about, like, I'm trying to feel the scenario in my head. This is pure speculation, but this could be absolutely true. That what if the ninth pick, they were really coming down the wire, and they said, Masai was saying, Common, I promised Common we would draft him. I have a promise for Common. That was publicized, that Masai Ujiri has a promise for Common Malawach. What if Masai was saying we're got to draft Common, and they drafted Colin instead just to fucking say F you to Masai and get him pissed off. And then they're saying, yeah, you don't run this anymore. You're out. We're parting ways with you on Friday. So that would be some bullshit, wouldn't it? And Raptors fans, if this is the truth and you wanted comment and you wanted to center on our team and we went the other way because Rodgers strong-armed the decisions on our draft and told Masai, you're not the captain anymore. We are, and we're in charge. Yeah. How are you going to feel about that? Seriously. Does Webster take over as president? No. What they're doing is they're getting rid of a middle management position in their minds. They don't want team presidents. That's why they got rid of Shanahan. They're not going to replace Shanahan. That was the writing on the wall that told me Masai was in trouble. Was that they fired Brandon Shanahan for good reason. His team failed in the playoffs, and he had been there for a long time and failed a lot. And they said, we're not replacing the position of team president for the Leafs. We're going to just run with a GM. And obviously the thing is that Keith Pelley is the president of MLSE, and he's above the GMs of the two teams, which are now, they kept the GM of the Leafs, right? They didn't fire him. They just fired Shanahan. So it's probably the same thing with Webster. Webster's just going to be considered the GM, and he worked for Keith Pelley as the team president, as the overall president of MLSE. So in some ways, this is fucking cutbacks on jobs in the organization to save money. There's a lot of dumb people out there who are parroting that, they don't need both Masai and Bobby because one of them could do the job. Yeah, there's all kinds of bullshit that led to this kind of thinking that Ujiri may be expendable. So Webster's not going to be the team president. He's going to stay the GM, and hopefully he'll stay. That's the other thing. There's no guarantees. This could domino in certain weird, bad ways where all of a sudden Bobby Webster's like, yeah, my partner in working was Masai. You guys got rid of him. And honestly, guys, I have a better offer now going somewhere else. That's the thing. That's why you need that captain holding down the ship, because this also opens up the Raptors to get into weird fucking places like the Leafs and Blue Jays do, where there's not one person singly leading the team. And there may be a couple of different egos trying to push and pull at the top. Just think about the politics of right and left wing politics and how they push and pull in government and nothing ever gets done. That's why when you have one leader who's the figurehead, who does the job well, is great, because you have one guy making all the top decisions at the top. But if you have a couple of people and it's ambiguous, who knows if Keith Pelley's going to start coming in and telling Bobby Webster what to do. And Bobby Webster's like, that's not really what we do. Keith Pelley, you said you let basketball people do basketball decisions. So fucking stick to that is what I'm saying. So yeah, there's a lot of questions here. And obviously we don't have a lot of the answers yet, but we can talk about it. Seymour saying, I told y'all front office made the decision and y'all said no, told y'all. Who, front office? What do you mean front office? I can't believe Masai is out. I'm shocked. I hate this, Edmund. I hate this. Race Mode Daily, good to see you. I hope you're keeping up with your WNBA fantasy team. I hate this so much. I'm shocked too. Seymour saying the front office controlled the draft. I'm not shocked. I've seen it coming. It's weird because this is the thing. Those draft picks were weird, man. Those weren't normal kind of draft picks that we would get. Seriously. These are not the same kind of draft picks that we would totally get. This is very scary, guys, because in some ways there's all kinds of stupid shit that can happen to our team now. Because in some ways, Masai was protecting us. Masai was the end all be all. The buck stops here, and Masai brought a lot of power and a lot of presence. And in some ways, this is not good. In some ways, this is really not good. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Let's see. Cool Cat saying Masai era is over. Yeah, this is absolutely a horrible day. Horrible day. Seymour saying, go listen to Think Tank again. Think Rank again? Go listen to Think Tank again. What are you talking about? Smith saying Kayla Gray just posted they knew it was coming. Well, this is the thing. We got to remember what Masai said like a year ago. He said, listen, this city is great. This franchise is great. I believe in this team. I believe in this city. And this team will win another championship again, whether I'm here or not, is what he said. And he still believes this. We know that in some ways that message he gave us a while back, well, now in some ways he's saying it. He still believes in us and that he thinks that we're going to do well no matter what, even if he's not here. It sucks, man. It sucks. This ain't right, man. We paying attention to see what Ujiri does next, obviously, and we wish him all the best, man. You're a really, really iconic person in Toronto, and you always will be, Ujiri. You always will be, man. This is crazy, man. Yeah, when I tried to explain it yesterday, y'all said no, it's not like that. In my eyes, nobody's safe, and that's scary. Well, I don't remember you trying to explain anything to me yesterday, Seymour. Don't. Was it in the Discord chat or was it in the stream? I don't believe it was in the stream. Either way, man, come on, don't try and act like you predicted this shit. We all saw this happening. No, that's not true. Like, this is totally taking everybody blindsided this morning. His contract still was supposed to be one more year. So yeah, don't come on, man. And why would you want to get credit for prognosticating this or predicting this? Seriously, you should be ashamed of yourself for wanting that. That's right. Mark Tavares is saying, so what the fuck? Yeah, I don't know. In some ways, we're going to have to do damage control. We're going to have to go forward, Raptors Nation, and the unknown beyond Ujiri being with us and just see how things go. In some ways, there's all kinds of stuff I'm going to be worried about. But we're going to cover it really closely on this channel. And we'll be up to date on everything that's going on as we find it out. Seriously. So, this is a great place to check every morning as we find out more about the fallout of what's happened this morning. Definitely. Yeah. Randolph's here. Good to see Randolph Phillips. Fiercely saying, good morning, fam. Today is not a happy Friday for me. No, this is not a good day. Seriously. If you are a Raptors fan, true blue, really in your heart, Raptors fan, this is a sad ass day. And this is a horrible day. This is a bad day in our history. It seriously is, man. Smith saying, well, he will be hired very quickly. Lakers, Washington's wife's family. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to believe that. In some ways, I want to believe that Masai's going to be like, yeah, fuck all y'all, I'm out. I worked so hard the last few years and did so much in Toronto. And in some ways, I need a break. And I don't want to be around NBA at all. I hope he does that, honestly, for a little while. Seriously, because in some ways, I don't think another team deserves him, honestly. I don't think another team deserves him. Fiercely saying, I got a tip at 8:03 a.m. and sent it to Lex, but then I deleted it as I didn't want to mess up his beginning of his stream, but now it's out. Yeah, I was doing the research to get on the stream, and I went to Reddit, and that's where I saw it. I saw a Shams tweet somebody posted on Reddit. That's where I first saw it. Stargate saying, what? What the fuck? I know, Stargate. This is some messed up shit. And, well, is it the bullshit that we think? I mean, oh, my gosh. I'm going to say this right now. If we see a white sideline reporter for Rodgers this year, I'm going to be pissed off, seriously. If we see something like that, seriously. I'm just going to go off like this anti-DEI kind of bullshit going on with Trump. The people that are like him and have positions of power are starting to like go anti-diversity. And I hope that none of these decisions that MLSE has made this week are partly because Ed Rodgers is that kind of piece of shit. That's what I would say right now. Yeah, Seymour saying, keep all heads high. We will be fine. Well, I hope so. I don't trust it as much right now. We trust in Masai. I don't know. I want to trust Bobby. But in some ways, Bobby has every reason to not want to be here either in certain ways. And we got to see what happens. There's everything in its own order and how things go. This is a bombshell. And this is not good news for the Raptors franchise, guys. This is not good news. Everybody who thinks this is a needed change or that we need to do this, you're full of shit. We did not need to do this. We did not need to do this. Kaz saying, wow, they fired Masai. I'm going to crash out. They didn't fire him. They parted ways. Let's give respect to Masai Ujiri and the official account from Rodgers, even though they may have technically done that on the download behind the official wording is they have parted ways. And honestly, I could see where Masai, if he amicably wanted to leave because they did not listen to him during the draft in the last 2 days, I could see why he would want to walk away after that. Because in some ways he doesn't have his power anymore. And I'm telling you, this is probably what happened. That Ed Rodgers did some bullshit, took control of the draft, told them who they had to draft against what Masai wanted to do. And Masai probably was like, you know what? Why am I even doing this job if you're not going to let me be in charge? I could see that being exactly what happened. Seriously, right there. Naga saying, I'm glad CMB watches J-Dub. I like watching Elijah dunking. Yeah, Elijah Martin is an amazing athlete. For being so short, he gets up there. He's explosive. Both these guys are very explosive dunkers. Both of them, Murray Boyles and Elijah Martin. Very interesting players. Both undersized, though. I feel like Elijah Martin could give Mac McClung a run for his money in the dunk contest. Seriously, Mac McClung's a little dude that dunks, and everybody's so impressed with him. Well, I think that Martin from Florida could come and beat McClung in the dunk competition. I'm serious. I'm very, very serious about this. And it might be interesting to see if he actually gets involved. There you go. Fiercely saying, according to my source, Masai knew Rogers was getting rid of all president positions as he was the last one. He decided to leave before getting excused in his final contract year. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, I knew the writing was on the wall when Shanahan was gone, and the news blurb said they will not be replacing his position. I knew Masai was in trouble as soon as I saw that with the Brendan Shanahan firing of the Leafs. That totally makes sense. Stargate said this is terrible news. Oh, yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, it is. Wayne saying, morning, Raptor Freaks. That's it. Well, we'll just have to see, man. You know, the Raptors existed before Masai, and they're going to exist after him. And, well, we just got to hope and pray that we get somebody who's good to be in charge once again. Bobby Webster is allowed to run this team in the same way that Masai Ujiri did for this time while he was here. That will be great because some of the culture will stay over and we'll be able to continue it even without Masai here. But if Keith Pelly is going to meddle and he's going to cause problems with them and how they're going to run the team, well, I'm going to be pissed. So let the basketball people do the basketball stuff, Keith Pelly. That's what you said. You better stick to it. In some ways, this is a bullshit, man. Seymour saying a front office did not want a player from the Giants of Africa program. Racism is still alive and well. Yeah, I want you to just – all right, first of all, Seymour, you're confusing. Don't say front office. Front office is Bobby and Masai. Say ownership, okay? Because you're getting the wrong term right there. You're saying ownership did not want a player from the Giants of Africa program. Racism is still alive and well. Don't say front office because front office is Bobby now. It used to be Masai and Bobby. But as of this morning, it's only Bobby. So it's a misnomer. That's why you're confusing me with your comments, is because you're calling ownership front office. Ownership is different. Front office is the people who do the basketball decisions. So Fiercely saying, I'm really hoping he's the one who left rather than having his Rogers dude do it. This Rogers dude do it. Well, who knows? Maybe Masai did leave with grace on his own terms this morning as far as saying, you know, he's seen the writing on the wall. Maybe he didn't like the pressure that the new ownership made on him during the draft. And like I'm saying, a lot of what I'm saying on this whole situation is speculative, obviously. But it could very well be some of the things that I'm windowing right now are exactly right. So let's see. Chris comes saying, this is some crappy news. I think this is the day I officially take a step back from Raptors basketball. Yeah, this is no good. I mean, I don't want you to do that, Great Chriscom. And let's see what happens. Seriously, be a Raptors fan no matter what. Seriously. I'm not a fan to any player or executive or coach or anything like that. I'm a fan to this team. I'm a fan to this franchise. And I've been a fan of this franchise since 94 when they announced they were coming and they didn't even have a name. So it's like, it's not going to change after over 30 years of rooting for this basketball NBA franchise in Toronto. And, you know, this is a sad, scary, stupid-ass day, but we got to go forward. In some ways, I'll be sad to hear that, but I hope you will come back and check with us every once in a while. Paul B's here. He's coming in from the state of Wisconsin, stateside, devastating. Yeah, Paul B., thank you for all the work you've done to help me with my channel and the other things that I've done. Man, you've been so great. I appreciate you, Paul. I'm going to give you a dunk for showing up and saying hi this morning. And man, this is just not a good day, guys. In some ways, I don't want to freak out and get mad because that doesn't do anything right now. It's only going to make my blood pressure up. I'm going to just kind of process. I'm still in the denial phase. I still want to say, nah, Masai still works for us. I still want to say that. I am definitely in the denial phase still. I got to go through all the different phases because this is going to be a grieving process. Seriously. This is going to be a grieving process. That's right. Bad news in reference to Masai. Yeah. Totally bad news, man. Dan, good to see you. Thank you for coming in and subscribing to the channel. Dan Rowe, 89. I appreciate your subscription and come in and chat whenever you want. Absolutely stunned and sick. Yeah, me too, man. If I was not getting up this morning and thinking I would see this bullshit in my face. In fact, I got immediately angry as soon as I saw it. I got immediately angry and I said, fuck you, Ed Rogers, is what I said. Yeah, Kaloy's saying, I hope it's fake news. It's not. It's not. It's being reported multiple places. The important people in Toronto are reporting it, and that means it's true. Doug Smith, Blake Murphy, Josh Lewenberg, Michael Grange. And those are the people that will know. It's not fake news. He's out as vice chairman and president of the Toronto Raptors as of this morning. Shams announcement, it's unfortunately real. Yeah. Seymour saying, we need to keep the fight going. Masai didn't create no weak-ass organization. We are champions with Masai. They will never take that away from us, Raptor Freaks. That's right. That's right, Seymour. You're going to get a dunk for that one. That is exactly the right attitude. We'll circle the wagons. We're going to come back stronger than ever. And as Masai said, we're going to go win another one for him. In some ways, the thing that pisses me off the most about this is that Masai's moment was stolen by racism. And it's quite possible his job was stolen by racism this morning also. And the fact that he isn't going to go to that second championship and get that championship and get that moment correctly, but he got robbed of by that officer in San Francisco and that bullshit. That's tragic to me because that's what he wanted. He wanted to get the second championship so he could actually feel that moment correctly without some piece of shit doing that, man. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Cool Cat saying no president exists in all of MLSC teams. I was expecting it since ownership shakeup. Well, at least he was the last one standing. Whether they had a president of TFC, president of any of these teams, they don't have team presidents anymore. Keith Pelly's the president of all of them, and they have GMs that work under that. That's right. Don't ever root for the Lakers, Lex. You know, I did root for the Lakers at different times in my life. I was a bit of a Lakers fan in the 80s against the Celtics. I'm not going to lie. I was always choosing Irvin over Larry. And I love the Showtime Lakers. I enjoyed watching James Worthy play. I enjoyed Byron Scott and Michael Thompson and Coop de Loop and that team. I was actually a fan of the Showtime Lakers. I didn't totally like the Shaq Kobe era. I'm never really warmed up to that pairing in that period of time, and I've absolutely hated the LeBron era. But there is a history of me kind of liking the Lakers from the 80s. Let's just put it that way. So we'll see. I mean, in some ways, there's going to be a soft spot in my heart for Ujiri. No matter what, no matter where he goes, this is not him being a turncoat on us like Nick Nurse and messing his job up on purpose to go to Philadelphia and Daryl Morey. No, that's a snake. And Nick Nurse is the snake of coaches, just like Kevin Durant is the snake of players. No, this is different. This is Masai forced out when he didn't want to be forced out, guys. So he's not leaving in bad standing with us. Only with idiots who thought he wasn't a good front office person. That's the only people he's leaving with bad standing. Not with the real ones. Not with the real ones. Kaloy saying, I fell to my knees inside a bakery. Man, that's a real one right there. That's a real one, Kaloy. I know, man. I'm like, what the fuck? There's people all around Toronto that are dealing with this right now. Like, seriously, they may not understand just how much this is going to affect the city. Seriously, 52 dunks for Kaloy for falling to his knees in a bakery this morning. Like, seriously, man. Ed Rogers, you're a terrorist for fucking doing this shit, man. You're a terrorist. Fiercely saying they were supposed to announce it at 10 a.m. and hold a press conference at 1. Shams broke it before. Yeah, fuck that guy. Fuck that guy, Shams. That piece of shit. Yeah, I don't like that guy, man. Watching him on the draft the last 2 days, I'm like, you piece of shit. You should just go sleep instead of doing your bullshit. I'm sick of your bullshit. Woj was better. Woj was better, you piece of shit. Just go get sleep finally. You haven't slept for like 10 years, Shams. Just go fucking sleep, man. Put the phone down, motherfucker. That's right. That's right. I want to see this press conference. They're going to do a press conference at 10. Did they start it already? Or they're going to do a press conference at 1 p.m. Okay. Scotty's success is Masai's success. Pascal's success is Masai's success. Fred's success is Masai's success. Kyle Lowry's success is Masai's success. Yeah. There's a lot of this right here. There's a lot of here right here. Seymour saying we'll be fine. We will be fine. Yeah, we're going to take it day by day. And I ain't giving up. And you know I'm going to be who I am still every morning on this 930 channel. We're going to do what we do. Oh, yeah. It's just it's uncharted territory. It's new. And in some ways, it's a little scary. Because honestly, I knew this day would come at some point, but I didn't think it was going to come this soon. I seriously didn't. I thought it may come next year. But I'm kind of really reeling this morning for sure. Reggie's saying he created the most successful run in Raptors history. I love him, but we will be okay. Yeah. He set our culture, guys. He gave us culture. He gave us a history. He gave us something to be proud of for our fan nation. When people looked down on us and told us we were shitty, he gave us some pride. He gave us something to stand up and stand real proud. And I'll never forget him for this. And that's why he's always going to be an icon and a legend and one of the most important, influential people in Toronto and Canada's sports history. Canada sports history, not even just in Toronto in some ways. That's right, 100%. That's right. Kareem Thomas is so mad, he's just going to retract his statement. That's right. Todd Bridges saying, unbelievable. When was the last time the Maple Leafs won a championship? The MLSE brass just simply does not want the Raptors to win another one before the Leafs get one. This is self-sabotage. That's what I worry about. Because listen, Toronto sports team have problems with self-sabotage. The Leafs, oh my gosh, self-sabotage is almost like a credo for them. The Blue Jays, not necessarily ran in winning ways. They got 2 World Series way long time ago. And I think Ed Rogers' dad was still alive then. This is the thing I'm worried about. It's like I knew at least with Masai, there was somebody who's capable at the top who's fighting for the things that we need and keeping the toxic away. But he's that guardian against that. That was half his job, y'all, was just to make sure the Raptors got their fair share. They got their fair things. And he was keeping a pride level and a respect level for us on the executive level against people that may not look at us as equals or look down on us. He brought that respect. And yeah, this is messed up, man. This is messed up. And I don't know if they're trying to do it because of what Todd's saying, that they don't want the Raptors to win another championship before the Leafs win. I don't know if it's exactly that. I think it's just that, you know, in some ways it's a business. And now they're going to want to run it more like a business than ever. Larry Tannenbaum, man, I miss you, bro. I miss you, man. Let's see. Fiercely saying, fuck, sorry, fam. This is not good news. I sense weird moves coming, and I don't like that feeling. Yeah, I mean, seriously, this is the thing. The leader, the guy at the top is so important because in some ways, some of the loyalty for our team by our players is to Masai. You know, Scotty says, I love you, Masai. Masai said, I love you, Scotty. You know, we don't want Scotty to go Damon Stoudemire in this situation. Think about this. Seriously. Just like what happened with Isaiah, right? Isaiah had to go because of fucking piece of shit MLSE. Same thing. They came and took over the team. And Richard Petty fired fucking Isaiah, said, no, you can't run a business side. You can do basketball stuff, but not business side. And they had a disagreement. And then Isaiah left. And then Damon didn't want to be here anymore. Tracy McGrady didn't want to be here anymore, partly because Isaiah was gone also. So that's the thing, man. Isaiah Thomas brought instant credibility to our team early on our team, similar to Masai. People respected the Raptors partly because of Zeke running our team. And, you know, when he left, people started disrespecting the Raptors more. And that's one of the biggest things that I don't like about this is because Masai Ujiri demands respect. And by extension, his team that he runs demands respect because he runs it. So there may be a lot more disrespect. We already get mad disrespect all over the place for our team. It may be even worse now because Masai was that guy who demanded it as our figurehead. And I don't like this. I don't like this at all, man. I don't like this at all. Kaloy saying, I knew it. I felt that this picks were a Bobby picks, and maybe the Ingram trade is a Bobby trade. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Bobby would stab Masai in the back. You know, in some ways, he's got to think about his own interests as a person. And if he's like, you know, I get a good contract, I'm under contract with the Raptors to be their GM for a while. I'm loyal to Masai, but they need me to continue running this team with him gone. You know, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with Bobby Webster exactly. He had a real good poker face on the Hello and Welcome podcast with William Liu and Alex Wong a couple weeks ago. If he knew this stuff was coming, he didn't let it be known. That's for sure. No, he didn't, man. It's crazy, man. Randolph's here saying, Raptors Freaks families, my heart is broken. I'm sad. Whatever the reason, this hits hard in all the wrong places. Masai has been so good for basketball in Canada. The draft just didn't feel right. Yeah, it didn't feel right. And I think it's what we're saying right now. Now I'm like, what the fuck? Common was there. You could have taken him. And they was like, no, we're not taking Common, Masai. Sorry, no more pipeline for your Giants of Africa here. In fact, you're going to get fired after this draft's over. This is bullshit, man. I wonder if we would have taken Common if Masai had been in charge still, guys. And that's something Raptors fans may wonder for a long, long time going forward, man. Yeah, G's saying it's saying they parted ways, not that he was let go. I have hated Rodgers for some time. I hope it's just Masai wanting to do something with Giants of Africa. I think it's because, like what Fiercey said, that he knows he's going to probably get fired at the end of his contract. And in some ways, I think that what they did was preemptively, Rodgers probably wanted him to leave before then. So they cut his nuts off for the draft, and they didn't let him have any power in what they decided. And then Masai's like, well, why am I going to wait around? If you're going to make me a lame duck president of this team that has no power for the next year, even though I'm under contract, you might as well let me go. And that may be why. It may be that Rodgers did something really shady as fuck and said, you don't have any power over what we decide on this draft, Masai. And you know what? It's up to you whether you want to hang around or not. You can still do the job, but Bobby's the GM, and he's going to do what we tell him to do. And you can stay around for the rest of your contract if you really want to, but you're not going to be able to make any power choices anymore. You're a lame duck. You're going to just sit. You'll be around, and you can smile, and you can act like you're in charge, but you're not. You're not going to be in charge for the last year you're here. So think about the pride that man might have in hearing that kind of thing and say, well, why am I going to be here if I can't even do this? Some people may try and paint Masai Ujiri as an egomaniac in the next couple days. Don't listen to them. Those are the same fucking people that pushed him out. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, it's the same fucking people. That's right. Kareem saying, we lost Masai and we lost the continent of Africa fans. I hate MLSE. Yeah, I don't know if that's totally true. I think that, but the roads and the foundation of scouting that the Raptors have built, Masai, a master scout, and Bobby, hopefully a lot of that will stay intact, and we'll still be able to keep good eyes on the continent of Africa for good talent. But yeah, in some ways, the leg up, the early, this charm, the aura, the presence of Masai is gone from the Raptors franchise. That's not good. That's not a good thing, guys. He's a bonus. He's a huge, huge big deal. In some ways, he was the MVP of our team this whole time. Not any of these players. Not any of these players. Fiercely said, I agree with Todd Bridges. Dirty inside work to prevent the Raptors from succeeding. They saw we were building something special for next season. And, in some ways, a really good way. And I've speculated this because in some ways I thought about this when we were kind of in the lows of the Tampa year and not having a center, that the Raptors on purpose would short stack themselves at center to lose more and to tank, to try and possibly draft somebody like Scotty Barnes at number 4. So I think that in some ways, the fact that the Raptors did not draft a center in this draft is showing that even if we are healthy, even if we are a good team, that somehow, some way, the ownership of MLSE may cap us to try not to be successful by not giving Darko a second center. I can speculate this because in some ways this is sound basketball strategy in front office. Y'all should have a backup center for Jakob. And you had the opportunity to draft 2 of them at the 9th and 39th pick, and you didn't do it, either one. So is it Rodgers strong-arming the draft decisions and saying, no, you guys can't get centers because we don't want y'all to win. Y'all make a lot of money already, and on the down low, we don't want y'all to win. And we know if you get another center, you'll be better off with that. So, I mean, we can read into all of this. The fact that we're seeing this decision this morning makes us go back and look at the draft totally differently at this point. Totally differently. Yeah, Jesus saying, if this is all about saving money, going to be furious. Won't go on about this anymore. But the news for me personally is worse than any trade news. Yeah. No, I'm with you on this. I'm reeling for it. In some ways, I can deal with trading somebody easier than this. This is really bad. This is really, really bad. Kareem saying, Masai shoots it straight. I want to see a presser today. He will spill the beans. I hope so. I hope we do hear him say something. I don't know if we'll actually get to hear him, though. It may very well be fuckface Keith Pelly comes out and he announces the whole thing and does the whole thing. But who knows, man? Nako saying he sees some J-Dub. Now, we use the name J-Dub. I'm going to say Jason Williams from before. I'm not giving that moniker to the guy who plays for Oklahoma City that just won a championship. J-Dub is a nickname for tons of people. You could mean so many people for J-Dub. So you better write Jalen Williams, and you better write it correctly because there's 2 Jalen Williams on Oklahoma City. So that's lazy half-assing right there. J-Dub is Jason Williams of Sacramento Kings way back in the day. You see some J-Dub and CMB? No, I see Charles Barkley, bro. Man, why? Come on now. James is saying, what's your thoughts on Clifford, the undrafted center we picked up? I think he looks like Harrell, man. Seriously, he's not a true center in some ways, but he is. He's got a great wingspan. He's not really a leaper, but he has really long arms. He can block some shots, and he can dunk the ball. But I don't really know if he can shoot very well from outside. But it'll be interesting, man. He can guard all positions like CMB. Interesting. So he's quick enough to guard guards. I like that. I like that. We have two guys that can guard 1 through 5 in Barnes and CMB. There you go. There you go. Yeah. Let's see. Let's keep going. Fiercely saying, is Trevor J okay? I have no idea. He has not shown up in the chat on anywhere in 2 days now. And you know how diligent he is about being here every morning. So it's a little bit of a red flag that Trevor has not been present or accounted for a couple of days now. I actually did send him a text to his phone number. So hopefully I'll hear from him, and I hope he'll be all right. Wayne saying, Kareem, Masai has too much class to say anything so soon. Nothing remains secret for long. We will know. This smells of a departure built on principle. Yeah, Twitter's exploding. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not on there. Blue skies and Reddit is enough for me. I do not need to be on that toxic ass Twitter. That's right. James is saying we're going to see see different style of moves now that Masai's out. Well, hopefully not too different. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what Bobby is unfiltered. Hopefully Bobby will stay, because honestly, I want Bobby to be around because he is the remnants of that front office that can still kind of keep some continuity going forward in this new uncharted era we're going into right now. Tristan Trey saying, what the fuck? Yep. Bryce is saying, well, looks like I'm going to have 2 favorite teams now. Wherever Masai goes, I'm going to root for them. All right, Bryce. All right. Smooth saying, Keith Pelly loves stars. Yeah, well, Masai was a star, and I don't understand why you got rid of that one. Nako saying, CMB is at least a Bobby pick. Okay. Kaloy does not like this. I don't either. Is Smooth saying, is Darko's job safe? I think so. I think that we're seeing, this is the thing. Darko's success is going to be on building. And if he's building, like as long as he's getting more wins every year, like if he has a backtrack year where the Raptors look like they got worse instead of continuing to get better, he may be in trouble then. But he can have bad seasons. He can miss the playoffs as long as seems like he's doing as best as he can considering the situation. Like if there's a ton of injuries this year, God forbid, and he doesn't make the playoffs and he wins like 35 games this year, I think he might be okay, but who knows? There's no for sure. But he has to show progress and continued building success for him to be safe. Yeah, that's what I say right there. Yeah, let's see. Kareem saying, I want to cancel Rodgers, but my wife works with them, so I'm kind of locked in. Maybe if I divorce her and tell her I'm going to Bell, laugh out loud. Man, I don't know. That seems like a drastic change, just like this one this morning. You may not want to do that. That's right. Tristan saying, I only wish Trevor J had posted it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Wherever Trevor is, I hope he's doing all right. I hope it's not anything where he's not able to be here because he's not okay. And I hope it's not anything like there's an emergency is taking him away from this channel either. So hopefully Trevor will check in soon. G saying, I removed all of my Rodgers stuff a long time ago. They have a philosophy of firing what they call low-hanging fruit and the highest paid employees whom earned it to save money. This stinks of that. So they hire the best and the worst from their company. Yeah, I honestly, I got rid of Rodgers a while back, but unfortunately, I'm currently on them on my internet right now, and I really may look into changing that again, like right now, seriously. Because honestly, their service hasn't been that good out here. Honestly, if I could get a different service out here, that may be the only reason why I have Rodgers right now is because there's not anybody else offering internet out here right now. But I need to look into that again because seriously, I will cut off my Rodgers today if I can get another service out here. Fiercely saying, Kareem, laugh out loud. Bell internet and cell phone network are also shitty at times. Yeah, in some ways, it's like it's a big, huge mega corporation. Yeah, it's going to be shitty service, shitty product. That's why you go with somebody like Tech Savvy. Go get Tech Savvy. That'd be a better company for you guys. If you can get Tech Savvy, I highly recommend them. It's a Canadian company too. Straight goods on Canadian company. And not a huge, huge corporation that's absolutely problematic like Bell or Rogers. Kareem saying Raptors are the 5th best team in win percentage since 2014, and we got a chip. We haven't been in the playoffs since 2021, and we still rank in top 5 in the league. This is so fucking whack. Yeah, it's what have you done for me lately? Kind of Janet Jackson kind of bullshit. I think that in some ways it's just Rodgers has been waiting since that phone call a few years ago that we covered on this channel about telling him he wasn't worth the money. And well, in some ways, it's like he fires him. He's still got to pay him the contract. I don't know. Does he still got to pay him the contract? Like, this is the one thing I'm wondering. Can Masai sit at home for this season and still get the money from Rodgers and just not work? But if he takes another job with somebody else, does he forfeit that money? Because he's under contract. Did they rip the contract up, or does Rodgers still have to pay him for the next year? I hope they do have to pay him still for the next year, even though he's not going to be working. I do. I hope they do. Yeah. Kaloy saying, oh, shit, they're reporting MLSC is going to search for a replacement president, if not going to be Bobby. They are going to look for a president? I don't know. I don't believe that totally, because why would they do this in the first place then, if it's that? All right, let me check on Blue Skies, because things are happening quick. Let's see. To sum up, this is Josh Lewinberg. To sum up, Masai Ujiri out. Bobby Webster has been extended and will stay on as GM. Rest of Raptors leadership team remains in place for now. MLSC intends to replace Ujiri with a new president, surprising given their plan to proceed without filling the Leafs position after Shanahan ouster. Not sure how appealing this presidency job is going to be with a GM and leadership team already in place and extended, as well as MLSC essentially doing away with the position elsewhere. Will be interesting to hear what Keith Pelly has to say. He'll speak to the media at 1 p.m. So we will hear Keith Pelly. If they're going to hire another person, they should just give it to Bobby and put Dan Tolzman as the GM. That's what they should do right there. They shouldn't hire somebody new. If they're worried about trying to hire somebody new in that position, fuck that shit. Just give the position to Bobby, make him the president, and Dan Tolzman can be the GM. Now, if this is some fucking backwards way for you to fire Bobby also down the road and say, well, we didn't want to have a Toronto Raptors president either. And still, we're just doing this to kind of get Bobby out too. That'll be some bullshit. Seriously. Like if they promote Bobby to team president and Dan Tolzman as a GM, and then they come around next summer and say, you're out, Bobby, as the team president of the Raptors because we don't want team presidents after all. That would be some fucked up shit, was what I'm saying right there. Doug Smith also saying from MLSC, Raptors front office leadership remains in place with extensions for key personnel, including general manager Bobby Webster. And you can absolutely put Masai's departure at the feet of Ed Rodgers. That's the overriding feeling I get, and I have no question that will come out in the wash. So Doug's already calling it is Ed Rodgers that did this shit this morning. It is exactly that. And he's reposted this thing. Just a refresher, my only foray in business writing with the great Christine Dobby, who did all the heavy lifting, seems appropriate to visit. So this is an article that is from the Star about how Ed Rodgers fought plans to keep Masai Ujiri, but was thwarted by MLSC head, sources said. So see, he's wanted to get rid of him this whole fucking time. And Masai tried to say there were no problems. In some ways, he didn't want to cause a dust up. Well, we know it's all out in the open. There's no veil behind business anymore. We know what the fuck happened, Ed Rodgers, and we're pissed as Raptors fans. And you know what? You want to make an enemy of most of the people in the city, you will. And you may find that your subscriptions to your stupid-ass cable company are going to be going down as of today. You won't see that drop, the Masai Ujiri effect on Rodgers' business this morning. And what's happening here, man? That's crazy. They better just put Bobby up. But if they're going to fire that president a year from now, don't do it. Leave Bobby in the GM. That's what I'm wondering right here, man. I'm wondering right now, man. It's crazy. Todd Bridges is saying, when was the last time the Maple Leafs won something? They just didn't want the Raptors to win another championship before the Leafs even sniff one. Masai embarrassed MLSC by winning the 2019 Cup. That sounds so crazy that Todd Bridges is saying this. What are you talking about, Willis? That they embarrassed MLSC by winning a championship? No, they made money for MLSC. But in some ways, I get what Todd's saying, and he may be right. He may be right. These racist-ass motherfuckers who wouldn't let Raptors pictures be down in the lower levels of the Scotiabank Arena. Yeah, the veil is lifted. Trump world is racist as fuck. And Ed Rodgers is a piece of shit racist himself, and he didn't want Masai, who's a successful businessman, to run his company any longer, man. It's so crazy, man. So crazy. Let's keep going. Kareem saying, fiercely, I would never go with Bell. I love my wife too much. I grew up with Rodgers, and if I changed, I'd be in shock for years. Go get tech savvy. That's neutral. Go get tech savvy. Seriously. Kareem, go get tech savvy. Although your wife's probably going to be pissed. She can't do that because she's a Rodgers person. Man, oh man, I have so many questions. James is saying, I want to see Masai go to a non-playoff team and turn them into contenders. I don't want to see him go to another team. I seriously don't. I wanted to be special with us. You know, I know he has a history with other teams before us, like Denver and Orlando. But in some ways, it's like, I don't want him to dance with another dance partner. Seriously, I don't want that. I may be selfish. I know that man can make a lot of money doing anything he wants. He's just like that. So in some ways, it's like, man, have some dignity. Walk away from the sport, bro. Although if LA is going to throw a huge contract at you to run the Lakers, I would understand why you do that, man. But in some ways, I'll be so disappointed, man. I'd be so disappointed. Kareem saying, Masai for mayor? If pinball can do it, so can Masai. I want him to be premier of Ontario. Let's impeach Doug Ford's crooked ass, corrupt mobster ass out. And Masai could be running Ontario, maybe prime minister. That'd be great. Either one of those, that'd be great. So he's saying Keith Pelly will be addressing the media at 1. We'll be done by then. We'll watch this. And I'll be on Discord to talk about it there. I won't do a live react on the channel, but we'll definitely be talking about this tomorrow. I think we're going to have to do a special Share the Love. I was going to do a Share the Love club for somebody tomorrow, but I think I'm going to switch it up. We're going to have to do something nice for Masai for sure. I've done a Masai Ujiri Share the Love club. It was one of the first ones I ever did. And I'll do another one for him. He's like that. He is like that. That's right. Wayne's saying Masai's going to sit back and enjoy summer with his family. He deserves the time to recuperate. I would. Yeah. And don't rush back into working like Nick did. In some ways, you're a brand and a name that's going to get a job no matter what when you choose to. So take that break, Ujiri. Take that break. And, man, all the emotions you're feeling today, we're feeling it with you, man. I'm pissed off. Seriously. And Masai, if you're feeling it right now, because I know this is emotional, we're feeling it with you. We love you, man. And this ain't right. And this is just a crooked ass, dirty, racist ass piece of shit, rich white motherfucker that did this shit today, that had it out for Masai Ujiri for years now. And he had to angle his way to being in charge. And we knew this may happen when this happened. And well, it did. It finally did happen today. Fucking piece of shit, Ed Rodgers. That's right. Randolph saying, Lex, if I wasn't a Canadian, I'd be done with this franchise for this reason. But I love the Raptors, and I'm committed to this team. Is Darko safe now? Yeah, you guys who ask me that. I think that they're saying that everybody's fine except for Masai. They didn't get rid of any of the other management. It's not that this was a problem. It's not like our team had a problem. It's just that Ed Rodgers had a grudge that he wanted to fulfill finally, and he got it done today. He wanted to fire him years ago. He didn't want him in charge of the Raptors for a while. And, well, he finally got his way. And it was buying the team and getting it all. Like, in some ways, part of this was put off because the finalization of the Bell deal to sell to Rodgers and MLSE has kind of gotten the late stages. Like, he may not have been technically able to do this until around right now. And there's like the final little things that got to happen with that switch in the ownership of MLSE. And now he can safely because nobody's there to fight him. Larry Tannenbaum can't get in the way at this point. And that sucks, man. That sucks so bad. Yeah, it's messed up. Kareem saying, I don't wish violence on anyone, but if someone pushes Keith Pelly into a ditch, I won't be mad. I don't know if it's totally Keith Pelly, although he may be doing the dirty work for Ed Rodgers. We know it's exactly Ed Rodgers, man. So, that's the person you want to push into a ditch is Ed Rodgers. Stargate saying, see, I told you guys Keith Pelly's a hockey guy. Listen to him for years on the Fan 590. This reels of derailing this team for hockey popularity purposes. I don't want to believe it, but I'm not going to say that this guy is not wrong. Who knows? I'm not going to say that he's a conspiracy theorist because in some ways I'd be stupid to not think that this is possible. Seriously. Cool Cat saying, I'm not surprised by the announcement, and the writing was on the wall. Masai hinted at it last year. Look at the changes in ownership. His protector sold and left. He's in his final contract. Yep. The writing's been on the wall, but the writing on the contract had one more year, and we thought this writing on the wall would happen next year, but it's a year early. So, well, we got to get used to this new thing, and, well, we're going to have to see how it feels. I'm going to analyze the hell out of this team like I always do. And, well, we got to trust in Bobby for now because Masai's gone. And this is messed up, man. Kareem saying there's no way Masai skipped out on comment. There's more to what happened. That's what I'm saying. The weird-ass fucking draft that just happened in some ways was not directed by Ujiri. I know it wasn't. In some ways, man, they better not fuck around with Ulrich Shamshe and his development coming up with our team, just despite Masai. Seriously, there better not be any kind of weird thing like, oh, the Raptors have waived Shamshe just out of the fucking blue, just to be a little bit of more of a dick towards our Giants of Africa guy. Are the Raptors even going to do Giants of Africa anymore? No, probably not, because that was with Masai. So it's like Rodgers is a racist piece of shit. This is a good way for him to cut out some DEI on his own staff, because Masai was one of the few African descent people that was running an NBA team in this league. Now he's not. That's one less. So, I mean, we can read between the lines here on certain things here. Seriously, we can read between the lines. That's right. Cool Cat saying under MLSC, no president for Leafs. Yeah, but they're saying they're going to rehire a new president. Seriously, they're saying they're going to rehire a president, Cool Cat, and they're going to replace Masai, which doesn't make any fucking sense. In some ways, that may be the insult of Ed Rodgers saying we're going to have to replace him. We got to get somebody in there. So it doesn't seem like we're just getting rid of the position. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing I could see that being right now. All right, let me get through. Under MLSC, no president for Leafs, no president for Raptors, no president for baseball, no president for Argos. MLSC has restructured the C-suite, just like the movement of all the chip players. Yeah, I mean, let's not go into like making these the same thing. This is different. And honestly, I think he's going to announce that he's hiring a new team president for the Raptors today. So this is not true. Duke Rocks is here. Good to see Jason Dukes, original Raptor Freak Fantasy NBA champion. Man, Jay, good to see you, man. It's been a while. Love you, man. I hope you've been doing very well. Your health is really, really good. I know you want to come in and talk to us about the latest thing. I'm going to give Jason a dunk. He's getting a dunk just for showing up. 6 on the dunk charts for today. He's saying, just heard the news with Masai, came to see the freak out. Just don't understand why do it after the draft. Bad news indeed for the guy that built the Raptor culture. I think it was just like, I bet you they were like, yeah, you can stay on your contract. We can't fire you because you're under contract, but we'll make you kind of want to leave. And we're going to disregard you for this draft. And we're not going to take any of your advice. It could very well be Ed Rodgers, Bobby, and Masai were sitting in a room, and as they're doing the draft, Ed is saying, yeah, you're going to do this, Bobby, if you want to keep your job as the GM, and we're not listening to Masai. You're not drafting Common Malawach. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you guys were going to pick him and that was the plan. You're going to take the next player on your list after him. And, yeah, and we're not taking Common. Could it be that simple? That as shocked as we were that they passed on Common at number 9 in the draft, that Masai was just as fucking shocked because he had lost his ability to be in charge of the Raptors all of a sudden in a power play by the fucking owner? I mean, this could be very true, guys. Seriously, think about this. I could Winders the shit out of this. Seriously. Smooth saying extensions in place for key personnel, Webster and others. Search for new team president underway. That's right. Todd Bridges saying MLSC handicapped us. So we won't even get another one before Leafs even get one before 30 years. Well, this is the thing. That's why we need these young dogs, these players like Scotty and RJ and Emmanuel to go and get it for Masai. Go and get it in his honor. Go and get it in his memory. Go and get it to show that he still built and architected a second championship for the Raptors. And that's what he wanted to feel. And if you guys go get it and his fingerprints are on y'all for being the part of the team that he built, he will get his success still, even though he won't be here, y'all. So understand this, Scotty. You got to do this for Masai now and make sure you win a championship with the core somewhat what you got right now, because we want Ujiri's fingertips and fingerprints to be on this and to get some credit. He may not officially be on the team anymore when you guys win the second one, but you need to go get it anyway and do it in his honor. Seriously, you really do need to do this, man. Smith saying Bobby Webster's been extended, as well as other key front office people. Yeah, I read that already earlier. Kaz saying, why would they find a replacement? I thought they were getting rid of the position. Fucking dumb as hell. I know. That's what I'm saying right there. It smacks of some weird shit. In fact, that smacks of Ed Rogers being a dick and saying, yeah, you're replaceable, Masai. Because in some ways, Masai was never, ever replaceable, you idiot fucking Ed Rogers. He's not replaceable. He is not replaceable. He's one of one. And he's one of the greatest sports executives in the history of sports ever. Forget about just for Canada. Ever in the history of the world, he's one of the best ever. That's right. Let's see. Cass saying, I hope Masai leaves the NBA and goes to Africa or soccer league. Man, I wish he'd go into politics in Canada. That'd be amazing. Shaq Lindsay saying Masai is out. That means probably no one is untouchable. Well, we'll just have to see what the fuck happens. Let's not go and jump to many conclusions. We know the personal grudge is between Ed Rogers and Masai Ujiri. And that it's not that Masai had a problem with Ed. It's that Ed had a problem with Masai. And that bullshit. Kaloy saying, another piece of this from Steve Popper. Let's see. An executive from another team recently said that Ujiri, who built a championship team in Toronto, has higher aspirations than running a team, instead focused on charity and political work. Man, that source could be me, man, because I've said this for a couple of years now. That's awesome. Well, that's the thing, man. If Masai is going to go into that line of work, man, more power to him. And he can use his platform in huge, huge ways. Stargate saying, this reeks of SWS. Fuck Rogers. Fuck the Leafs. Fuck Pelly. Fuck hockey. Yeah, I said it. Fuck hockey. They don't want basketball success in the city. The SWS hockey fans have won this round. Yeah, I don't know. We won't let them win because in some ways, like Masai said, we can win beyond him. And we need to do that. We need to do that in his honor. That's what I'm saying right now, guys. Halliburton went out in the finals. Pacers got in their feelings. Let's not get in our feelings. Let's stay on task, unlike the Pacers, and make sure we finish the job. And that means getting our shit together, Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett, Manu Quickly, Jakob Poeltl, and kicking some major ass in the name of Masai Ujiri this season and get him a surprise championship after in this year. Coming up, let's fucking get that championship. This is a league of parity, the East wide open. Y'all need to be pissed off from Ujiri, and you need to come back this season with a different kind of energy because of it. I'm telling you right now, I want to see Darko put this in y'all as a coach and say, do it for Masai. Masai, you love Masai. What you need to do this for Masai. That's right. We can't be like the Pacers and roll over in our feelings and be little pussies when we lose our star player. Nah, we need to step up and do it for him. That's what the Pacers fucked up on in the finals. They got in their feelings, and instead of stepping up their game to go get the game in his absence of Tyrese Halliburton, well, we need to do the same thing on an organization level that Ujiri is gone. That's what I'm saying right there, man. That's right. Masai needs to go into politics in Nigeria, possibly. I wonder if this has anything to do with the bullshit about Rwanda. And they're doing a Giants of Africa and basketball, or they're doing an event in Rwanda with a guy who's in charge of that country who's been called a dictator and a person who's not very good. You know, there's been negative press out about Ujiri, Giants of Africa, and Africa as a continent in general by pieces of shit and writing about, you know, this one dictator guy. Well, there's fucking dictators all over the place. Look at what's fucking happening in the White House. Look at Putin. Look at fucking Netanyahu. So you're going to tell me this guy who's in Rwanda and all Masai's trying to do there is build infrastructure for basketball there. Maybe these racists and fucking Rogers didn't like that some of the money that they're paying to Masai is going towards building economy in Africa. You know, this is seriously. Stargate is normally a little bit conspiracy theorist, but he's not on this. This serious shit. There's racism in Ed Rogers' soul. Seriously, I'm telling you right now, there's racism. That's right. Read Josh Lindbergh and Michael Grange. Yeah, I've been checking them on there. Monique is good morning. I'm stunned with the Masai news. I am totally stunned, Superfan Mo. I love you. In this time of chaos and weirdness, I want you to know I love you, Superfan, and we're going to be all right. We're going to kick some ass, and we're going to do it for Masai in his name going forward. That's right. Reggie's saying Bobby Webster got an extension a couple weeks back. Yeah, they figured him out and nailed him down. And, well, they knew that the thing with the Masai was going to happen. They probably knew that. Stargate saying, I knew when Keith Pelly was hired, I knew this shit was going to happen. I don't think it's totally Keith Pelly's fault. He's the guy in the middle, but we'll just have to see how he operates from here on out. In some ways, listen, because we're educated Raptors fans, We're going to pay attention to how they run this team going forward. And they better for damn sure be making moves that make sense to build towards success and good things happening. If we see any of this self-sabotage that Todd Bridges is talking about, I mean, what you talking about, fucking Willis? Fucking self-sabotaging our fucking team? Parting ways with Masai Ujiri this morning? What is this bullshit, man? That's what I'm saying. Good morning to you, Monique. That's right. They intend on hiring a new team president. Don't make no sense. Make no sense. She's saying my naive side hopes that this was mutual in a good way and that Masai will be consulting still. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. You know, people step away from basketball and they don't do nothing for a while. They go into TV maybe. You know, Jeff Van Gundy is an interesting one. He coached for so long and then he did TV, but now he's hired as a consultant to help the Warriors just kind of a little bit here and there. You know, he's done that kind of job. This may very well be true. I hope that it is politics and charity that Masai's moving more into. None of these other NBA teams deserve to have him. I'm going to say that right now. They don't deserve the premium executive that Masai Ujiri is. And they probably wouldn't treat him with the level of how we did here. Although, Ed Rogers, you fucking piece of shit. You mistreated Masai this whole time. You bastard. You bastard. Stargate saying, well, Bobby is Masai's protege, so I have faith in him as a GM. Yeah. We got to switch it to trust in Bobby. You know, now that Masai's not in there, we can't say trust in Masai anymore. So it's kind of fucked up, man. It's kind of fucked up. Shaq saying that Masai didn't get fired. He quit. Don't get me wrong. He didn't quit on the team, but the ownership left him in a bad taste. I think it could be that they chopped his nuts off and told him he couldn't be in charge to make the final decisions on the draft. And he's like, well, he walked away partly because of that. I'll bet you that's what it is. Kaloy said, I'm with you, G. I hope Masai wanted to go more into politics or charity. I hope so, too. We'll have to see. Wayne said, you went there, Lex, and I thank you for that. It's tough being black at certain levels in this town, especially when you go against the grain. I feel this one, and it's true that it would occur, but that's life. It's just fucking bullshit, man. You know, we've had so much good progress in the last 50, 60 years, 70 years, a civil rights movement, but they're still fucking horrible-ass racists, and they're out in the open right now in the light. We can see their ratty asses. They're not hiding in the dark. And we can see them exactly for who they are. Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Ed Rogers, you pieces of racist shit. Yeah, you know, you don't like me calling you racist. You're fucking racists. You fucking racists. And I keep saying that. I mean, some people say, no, don't make this a race thing, Lex. No, bullshit. I know the politics of Ed Rogers, and his politics are racist as fuck because they're on display in the United States right now in a very racist ass way. So, yeah. Yeah, if you really want to do something about this, y'all, you go ahead and you fucking cancel your Rogers right now. Seriously, show them, hit them where it hurts. Seriously, man. Stargate saying Bobby and Dan seem competent. They just let them do the work. Yeah. And, you know, I was honestly going to do the Share Love Club for Dan Tolzman tomorrow. But now I'm going to do a second one for Masai. It's going to be we appreciate you, Masai Ujiri post. Tomorrow. That's what's going on tomorrow. Saturday, Share the Love Club. Masai Ujiri. Oh, man, I can't even put into words what you mean to me in this city. Man, I'm so mad. Isaac saying, what the fuck? I know, Isaac. I know. Duke saying, the racism talk is a reach. Has nothing to do with racism. You can say a conflict of interest on Masai's part, but that is a reach. I don't know if it is, man. Seriously, I don't know if it is. Some people had a problem. I think Ed Rogers had a problem with the black man making that much money on his payroll. Seriously, man. Seriously. In some ways, Masai symbolizes something. Symbolizes something to Wayne Strainer, and that in some ways is not valued by Ed Rogers. That's what this is. Because honestly, what did Masai do to lose his job? What did he do? Why did he deserve to lose his job? He didn't. That's the answer right there. He didn't deserve to lose his job. If this is some cost-cutting move, some bullshit by Rogers, he just wants to save some fucking money. Well, this is the way the world is now. They fucking are hurting everybody just to give some more money to billionaires. And in some ways, it's like, all right, this is in a roundabout way. Is Ed Rogers hurting the Raptors in a roundabout way to save his ass some money? Is what this is. Seriously. Yeah. Monique saying, Elijah Martin, I'm happy. Can you tell I'm worried about Chris Boucher? Yeah, I think Chris is gone. I mean, they worked out the tax apron and everything for the Raptors, and we're just barely under it. But Blake Murphy's saying that the ability for the Raptors to do any kind of major moves or free agency is not there at this point. We have basically our team right now. We have about 20 players involved with our team right now. Chris Boucher is not coming back, guys. I'm going to say this pretty emphatically. After this draft, Chris Boucher is not coming back. I hope that Garrett Temple's coming back at this point. There may be no Garrett Temple also next year. So we're going to have to see. Emma's saying, salute freaks. I'm just hearing this now. I think I'm done with this team for a while. I'm parting ways with this team for a while. I hate to hear this because this isn't the action we need. We need good Raptor freaks to stick around and hold it down for this change. But I get it. If some of you guys are pissed and you want to leave for a while, I was the same way when DeMar got traded. I was like, I don't even know if I want to watch the Raptors anymore. And I get that. But, give it some time, man. It's the middle of summer. Your excitement and your enthusiasm for the Toronto Raptors may come back by the time preseason comes around. I mean, Summer League's going to be interesting next week. But I get it. It's all personal choice. If y'all don't want to follow the Raptors anymore because you're upset and sad and hurt by what the news about Ujiri this morning, I totally understand. I feel it with you. But in some ways, I got a dedication myself to follow this team and do this channel, regardless of who comes or goes in some ways. Yeah, and I'll be calling it straight up in some ways and talking my truth here. And Masai appreciates authenticity. That's the best gift I can give him on the way out, is to be authentically reacting to what's happened and telling the damn truth. And when we find out more, Masai, we will be there for your truth to be spoken. And none of this Rogers painting things through his media company on why this happened or all this bullshit. If they're going to start saying that Masai had an ego and that's the problem, fuck you guys. That's not what the problem was. We know that wasn't the problem. That's not it right there. Kaloy's saying, yeah, I'm going to put my blind faith on Bobby and Dan for now, but this surely put my fandom in question. I'm glad I found this channel, Lex. We'll be relying on you more. Well, if I can do damage control to help keep Raptors fans in Raptors Nation, listen, let's not man, it's going to be tough. If we do go into a bad period of time with our franchise and it's tough, we can weather it. And in some ways, I hope that most of y'all will stick around. But I understand, man, life is choices. And you got a certain amount of time in your life. You want to spend time on this or that. In some ways, you're put off by this. See, listen, this is not what you wanted, Ed Rogers. You're losing business on a couple fronts this morning. You're losing business for your cable company, because I'm sure a lot of people are calling to cancel. And you're also possibly losing a contingency of the Raptors fan nation. You fucking dumbass. This is not good business. This is horrible business. And you don't even understand that. You're so stupid. He's not a good businessman. He's just like Trump. He fails at a lot of shit. It's just that he fucking got the big, huge company handed to him by his father. And in some ways, it's not him that built Rogers. It's not him that did anything good. He's just a guy who was handed into it. It's not like he's a fucking intelligent person, Ed Rogers. I'm going to say that right now. Obviously, if he did this today. That's right. That's right. Let's see. Kareem said, Masai always had the deck stacked against him here. He fought for us, but he can only do so much. Man, we fought for him too. Let's not get it twisted. One of the main things I did on this channel was fight for the good name of Masai Ujiri. And I did consistently on this channel, protected him from his naysayers and people like Ed Rogers. And I'm proud of what I did here. In some ways, I'll still protect his name going forth and the legacy and his what he's done here from people fucking souring it. Look, I was like that for Nick for a while, but then the truth about Nick came out. And no, I can't do it for Nick in the way I will do it for Masai. So, man, this is tough. This is a tough day. It was saying the racist talk is not a stretch if you know the history of Rogers. That's what I'm saying, man. Let's not try and be naive to this. Seriously. And y'all, I know it gets uncomfortable when you want to talk about race and stuff like that. That's what they want you to feel so that you won't bring it up and make it a subject. If your program did not want to talk about things in the lens of race, that's the racists winning, the fact that they don't want you to talk about it that way. And fuck them. Fuck those pieces of shit. Duke's saying, if it was about the basketball Africa thing, we wouldn't have drafted Scotty. We would have drafted the guy Golden State drafted, who was higher on most draft boards. Who are you talking about? Podzimski? I don't even remember, man. There's always one. Shaking my head. Duke Ross, there's always one. No, Jason's a good guy, and don't put any labels on him here. He just, in some ways, he's not totally comfortable with putting the race card on this, but we will. And in some ways, that's not totally up to you, Jason Dukes. If you want to choose to believe that it has nothing to do with race, that's fine. You have that right. You have that right. I think that in some ways, like I could speculate that the bad press about Masai and Giants of Africa being connected to Rwanda could be part of it, seriously, because there's a lot of press coming out that Masai's in cahoots with a dictator, and in some ways that like I said, I've gone over this a bit in the past. It's not like people don't deal with fucking horrible ass people like Saudi Arabia and Israel every fucking day. Seriously, guys, come on now. Let's see. Tristan Trey saying, I like that we still got Bobby, but damn, yeah. None of it's good, man. It's not good. Stargate saying, Duke rocks. Just stop. You sound like SWS. No, he's not. He's a person of color. He's a good person, man. So let's not do this right now with him. We're not going to attack each other. We can attack Ed Rogers. Go ahead. Go after Ed Rogers. But I don't want you attacking, especially a guy who's old Raptor freak from the beginning who hasn't been here very often. And he's coming in here just for today. We love Jason. And Jason, like I said, man, I hope your health has been really, really good since I've talked to you, man. Seymour saying Kuminga ain't Scotty, just saying, oh, he's talking about that? He's talking about Kuminga? No, we didn't want Kuminga. Scotty was the right pick, and that was a Masai draft. Yeah. Mo saying Giants of Africa crew called me about Masai, emotional. Yeah, I wonder about Kimberly and all them, too. I guess the entity of Giants of Africa will continue. It's just that it won't be intertwined with MLSC in the same way. So Kimberly and all the ladies and different people working for Giants of Africa, hopefully we'll still have jobs. Jeff Landicho, all kinds of different great people that work with Masai in that department. So yeah, Mo, anything you find out from Kimberly or anybody about what's happened today with Ujiri, please let the RFF know. Please let us know, because we want to answer some of the questions. Milbester's here. Okay, be nice, Knicks freak. Lex, I knew it. I was right, and that the Knicks were going to trade the 50th pick in the second round last night. Okay, this is not Knicks freak. We don't care. They traded the Clippers. Kobe Sanders was the 50th pick. We got Luka Metrovic and Mohamed Duwara. Okay, yeah, I don't care. We just parted ways with our team president, and that's a huge deal, Milbester. Phil Fiercely saying, sincerely wishing Masai all the best. Super sad day for Raptors history. Exactly. Brian's here. Good to see King. To the point, dap to you. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, Raptors freaks. It's the King from To the Point is here. What's up, Freak Nation? Not liking the fact that Masai's gone. I'm not either. But I'm sure you're a little cackling cohort from your show, Beyond and Coach Roach, are not that upset about it. These guys have been critical of Masai for years. Shame on you guys. You added to the noise of this bullshit happening today. So shame on you, Beyond Basketball. And even Coach Roach, who I like Coach Roach. I think he has very good comments and opinions, but on Masai, he was off a lot of times. And, y'all's stupid ass noise contributed to the noise that, possibly could have hurt this situation. So in some ways, fuck you, Beyond. That's what I'm going to say right there. I won't say to Coach Roach. I'll say to Beyond right now. Duke saying, Stargate, if you want to be an idiot, that's fine. I see no evidence of racism in this discussion. Well, that's up to you. That's not totally up to you, Jason. You can police how you see the situation, and that's fine. I'm standing up for you to tell Stargate not to come at you. But I'm not naive enough to think what you're thinking. So, in some ways, listen, you got to allow us to have our opinion, even if you don't agree with it. Let's just say that. I'll allow you to have your opinion that you don't think race is involved in this, but let's not get it twisted. Come on now. Come on, man. Yeah. Milbester saying basically it's the draft rights to those guys. There you go. Stargate saying, Milbester, not today, please. This is not the day. We do not want your Knicks talking here. That's right. We ban you. I'm with Stargate. Milbester, we don't need your shit today. Seriously. This is a sad day for Raptors fans. And I'm doubling down with what Stargate just said here. Don't come in here with the baseball shit or any of this today. Seriously. Shaq Lindsay saying, I hope people don't connect the draft pick for his departure. Bobby Scouting and Masai did their homework long before the draft and picked the right pick. Well, I mean, we could. Listen, this is the thing. I've heard Bobby kind of like describe this in the past, that him and Masai will go over it at the end. In some ways, it's Bobby's choice. He does make the pick, but Masai kind of signs off on it. He sees the pick and he kind of bona fides it. He said, "Oh, okay, Bobby, this is who you think we should pick right now, Scotty Barnes at 4. You sure we don't want to get Jalen Suggs?" "No, Masai, trust me. We're going to get Scotty Barnes. He's going to be great." "Okay, I trust you. I go ahead and seal of approval. Scotty Barnes." That's how it works. So it could have been Bobby was coming in with people. I don't know. I think it's real fishy, the Malawatch stuff. I'm just going to say that. The Malawatch stuff is fishy as fuck. I'm not against having Colin Murray Boyles, but the fact that we all saw all the overtures that Colin Malawatch was going to be a Raptor if he's available at 9 and he didn't, that is a big, huge tell to me. I'm telling you right now, you can read between the lines if you really look clearly. And honestly, Masai publicly was said in the press, there was a promise made to comment by him. And I think that promise was, if you're in the 9th pick, the Raptors are going to pick you. And why wouldn't it be a power struggle that pushes Masai out and they didn't get what he wanted? That he wanted Malawatch, but the Raptors picked Colin Murray Boyle. I mean, that's easy to kind of connect the dots if that's exactly how this all went down. And it would make total sense. Seriously, it would make total sense. I agree they did their scouting, and I'm sure maybe Murray Boyles was the next pick after Common, but maybe he was the one before Common too. We don't know for sure, but the speculation on this could be real. It could be real. Isaac said, wait for it. Raptors could start shedding salaries now. Man, whatever is going to happen with the Raptors, we'll follow it, and we will criticize it, and we will follow it, and we will cover it. And we will give them the what they deserve for what they do. If it's good stuff happening, I'll cover it and we'll talk about it. If it's bad stuff happening, well, we'll cover that and I will go in on them. Trust me. I will go in on them for sure. That's right. Let's see. Milbester, yeah, no bullshit today. We're all pissed and we're angry today. So no bullshit today, Milbester. Seriously. No bullshit at all. Let's see. Read the board. This ain't the day. That's right, Milbester. It's all good. Infamous saying this is a huge mistake. Masai has a relationship with the players. Players come to this team because of him. This is definitely going to affect players coming here in the future. Yes, yes, and yes. It's the same thing. Like I said, it's a bigger scale than Isaiah Thomas, but it's a similar thing. It's a similar thing. We were hurting to get anybody to come to Toronto. Isaiah was attractive for people to come to Toronto. People want to play for the Raptors because Isaiah Thomas was in charge. People want to play for the Raptors because Masai Ujiri was in charge. Now, some of that is in question. We can go off the reputation of the Raptors have built in the last decade and a half and say, yeah, even though Masai's not here anymore, we're still the Raptors. We've got a good culture. We're a good franchise. We're a good organization that you would love to play for players. But there's no telling. Infamous is exactly right here, man. It's exactly right. The East is wide open this year. That's right. And that's why this isn't the time to part ways with Ujiri. That's right. Seymour saying, I think you're reading my message wrong, but it's okay. I would never take credit for predicting Masai's exit. I'm just saying that through the draft picks, you can see that Masai had no involvement with the picks. I am agreeing with that. Yeah. No, it was because you were saying front office, and that front office is the GM, and the ownership is the ownership. That's why. And that's why we were confused. And I totally agree with you on this. I think that this has fingerprints all over it. That Masai was blocked out from being in power during this draft. I seriously see this. Fiercely saying, Lex, on another note, I couldn't watch the stream after my call yesterday. Did the Raptors players welcome CMB via their Instagram stories? Well, let's go look. We'll go look at the Instagram stories. In fact, I want to go see if there's any reaction to what has happened by anybody this morning, by Raptors players or anybody. It's very, very silent. Thuzy has posted something about him. This is crazy. This is the media release from the MLSE on this. MLSE parts ways with Toronto Raptors president and vice chairman Masai Ujiri. Team leadership remains in place with contract extensions while in a search for a successor as team president begins immediately. During his 13 seasons with the Raptors, Masai has helped transform the organization on the court and has been an inspirational leader off of it, said MLSE president and CEO Keith Pelly. He brought an NBA championship to Toronto and urged us to believe in the city and ourselves. We are grateful for all he has done and wish him and his family all the best as we plan for the franchise's future and its return to the NBA playoffs. A search for his successor as president of the Raptors, led by CAA executive search, will begin immediately. Fuck that. Just promote Bobby. As the search for a new team president commences, Raptors front office leadership remains in place with extensions for key personnel, including GM Bobby Webster. Per team policy, terms of the deal will not be released. We're confident that the Raptors organization, under the guidance of Bobby and his team, is in a great place, Pelly said. They have a plan in place for next season and beyond as the team continues its rebuild, and we have confidence in their ability to execute and ultimately to excel. We feel the team is in a strong, stable place, and we believe the addition of new president will continue to move the Raptors forward towards our next NBA championship. You better not be giving us fucking lip service, Keith Pelly. Seriously. Ujiri was named president of the Raptors in 2013, joining the team from the Denver Nuggets. Under his leadership, the Raptors won the 2019 NBA championship and the first and only team outside the United States to do so. He is also co-founder of Giants of Africa, an organization which uses sport as a tool to enrich the lives of youth on the continent and encourage them to dream big. Yeah, fuck you guys at MLSE right now. Fuck you guys right now. Seriously, you motherfuckers. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Who is reacting to this right now? There's a thank you to Masai Ujiri posted by MLSE. There's a super fan, Na Bhatia, is saying, I'm in shock this morning. Lots of media requests. Don't know how I feel. Yeah, I hear you, man. Everybody wants to know what Nav thinks of this Masai thing, and he doesn't want to even mention it in some ways. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Oh, my gosh. SGA putting on blast former Raptors assistant coach, Nathaniel Mitchell, also a coach of the Team Canada and stuff like that. There's Jamal McGlure's worst part of being a giver. Nobody asks you if you need anything. That's his words of wisdom right now. Holy crap. This news this morning is so stupid. All right, let me go see what the rest of the Instagram stories are. I reset them so that I could see if there's any news stories. None of the players are saying nothing right now, guys. None of them. Eric Smith posted, thank you, Masai Ujiri. SGA putting on blast Nathaniel Mitchell. As I said, Jonas Valanciunas is back in Lithuania with his brother and a pig. He's outside, and they're looking very Borat, like living kind of the stereotypes of Eastern Europe there. What are you guys doing? With this guy's got his shirt off, and there's a pig in the yard. Something weird going on there. Elijah Martin putting on blast, excited, nervous, proud, all the emotions to be a Raptor. He's wearing an all-white suit at the draft last night, wearing a 15 pendant. Of course, he can't wear the 15 because of Vince Carter. But, yeah, the white suit, it bodes well. That's what Scotty wore when he was there. Also, Elijah is saying, you are currently living at least one of the prayers you used to pray. Man, I hope you didn't want to work for Masai Ujiri. First ever drafted from Florida Atlantic to the NBA, Elijah Martin. There you go. They're very, very proud of him. That's very, very cool. He's also putting on blast his Gators teammates. Will Richard got picked by the Warriors at 56. And there's the drafting of him. He's got the little dinosaurs on his picture. He's very happy about that. Let's see. Shamshe putting on blast John Tonje, who got picked by Utah Jazz out of Wisconsin on pick number 53. Man, I hope nothing happens to Shamshe, man. Seriously, if he's part of the fallout with this Ujiri thing, I'm going to be pissed. Eugenio Marui has got some guys on blast. He's been playing some pickup ball. I don't know exactly where he is. Jamal Shedd's working hard. He's pulling the elastics and the weight around with him. He's putting on blast some other guys. There's offers for his friend Ralph Scott. Let's see what else he's got. There's more workouts of Jamal Shedd putting in that work. I guess in some ways you got a new Bulldog coming up behind you, and Elijah Martin, although he's not really a point guard like you. So you should be all right, man. You should be all right. Let's see what else. He's also putting on blast Micah Peavy, who got drafted last night. Jared Roden's in the gym, dribbling around, getting his dribble in. Let's see. Scotty Barnes is posting his camp with the kids. Very good memories from the Scotty Barnes camp this summer. And that's what he's posting right now. He's focusing on the camp stuff and the kids. Lou Getz Dort has got some buddies of him. He's a champion now. Jacoby Walter has a camp on July the 31st. The first annual Jacoby Walter basketball camp presented by Overachieve Incorporated. I'm going to guess this is in Texas. I'm not totally sure if it's here in Canada. But yeah, more details to come. Like, where is it? Where is the basketball camp going to be, Jacoby? Because it doesn't even say on there. July the 31st, 9 a.m. to noon, grades 7th through 10th are allowed. AJ Lawson in the Raptors gear on his Instagram. Raptors posting a picture of Colin Murray Boyle with a Raptors shirt when he was younger, man. He had the old school Raptors shirt. That helped with his case with the Raptors fans for sure. Immediately right there. Let's see. There he is with the Raptors draft hat. And he's going to be wearing number 12 for the Raptors, guys. So Colin will be wearing number 12. And Elijah's not totally sure what number he's going to get yet. So, yeah, he's showing the clips of his combine and getting drafted by the Raptors. He's also putting on blast Elijah Martin, who got drafted last time by the Raptors. This is an interesting thing. Colin Murray-Boyles played for South Carolina, and Elijah Martin played for Florida. And these are SEC schools, and they played against each other in huge games last year. So they're very familiar with each other. And the compete factor and the dog in each of them sees each other in it, as far as like the Spider-Man meme. It's like, oh, I see dog in you. I see dog in you. And now they're teammates on the Raptors. So that's kind of cool. Elijah Martin, Colin Murray-Boyles, y'all are teammates from the SEC now, even though you were adversaries last year. That's right. So, yeah, good to see Elijah Martin getting put on blast by the Raptors and Colin Murray-Boyles. It's pretty cool. Let's see. Norman Powell is celebrating the Clippers picks, Yannick Conan Niederhauser, and also the second-round pick. He's also had some weird charity thing that's got shoes, and he's looking at them. Kobe Sanders going to the Lakers also. The Clippers, sorry. And there was an outdoor fashion show somewhere that Norman is at right now. I don't know what's going on there. Savannah Hamilton posting courtside views. Yeah, man, weird things are going on. Leo Routens is saying there's a cruise coming up, guys. And you can go on it. And if you go on the cruise, you can go on the cruise with Jack Armstrong, Rod Black, Sam Mitchell, Sherman Hamilton, Morris Peterson, and Alvin Williams and Leo Routens. It's a 7-night Western Caribbean cruise in 2026. So call and you can be on this Raptors media cruise. I don't even know what this is exactly. There's Colin Murray-Boyles putting on blast VJ Edgecombe. A lot of these guys he put on blast are because they're in the same representation group as Colin. Carter Bryant going to the Spurs. He's put on him on blast. He put on Kasparis getting drafted also. Put him on blast. There he is getting his draft hat himself. And there's the 12 jersey. And there's his unprecedented that one agency with 6 clients selected in the top 20 picks of the 2025 draft. And those 6 clients are Colin, VJ Edgecombe, Jean Banguer, Nolan Traore, Kasparis, and Carter Bryant. All from the same thing. Slim Duck is like posting this. When I get excited about something new coming into my life, but I got to calm down and pray first to make sure it's God's will for me. Yeah, that's interesting there. And that's about it. Lindsey Dunn celebrating Sarah McLachlan's bringing out her first music video in 10 years. So, yeah, man, wow. Instagram stories. Man, I don't like this, man. I don't like this at all. Smooth saying, I thought that too, Lex, but per team, Bobby Webster has been extended and others in the core. They are searching for a new team president. I say just put Bobby up there. In some ways, you know, I don't want some idiot getting hired that's going to be making it hard for Bobby to do his job. Seriously, just let Bobby do the job. In some ways, if Masai's not going to be there, the succession is Bobby Webster. So we don't need a guy in charge of the Raptors as a team president. If you're going to not have this job, just let Bobby do the job. If you're going to hire some outside person new to come in, Keith Pelly, to be the new Masai Ujiri, you can't do that. There's nobody can fill those shoes. It's stupid. Just let Bobby Webster run things the way that him and Ujiri would have if Ujiri was still here. So, yeah, fuck this idea of hiring a team president. You didn't need one. And now that you've parted ways with the one we had, well, why are you getting a new one is what I'm going to say to them. And you better have some good answers, Keith Pelly, at 1 o'clock. And press, ask them these questions. Josh Lundberg, get in there and do your job. You've been doing a great job recently. Josh, you've done such a good job. The questions you asked Bobby and Dan Tolzman after the draft nights this week were fantastic. And you're getting the questions that the Raptors fans want to ask. And that's why I want you to ask at 1 o'clock, Keith Pelly, why the hell are they hiring a new team president if they're not hiring a new team president for the Leafs or any of the other teams? Seriously, why are they doing that? They don't need to do that. They seriously don't. Fiercely saying, I saw Scotty did, but he kind of had no choice since he asked if we were excited about the draft. What are you talking about? You saw Scotty did what? I don't know. Shaq Lindsay saying, I think it has more to do with his reluctancy to make moves and maybe hold on to his players until it's too late. No, I don't think it has to do with that. I don't think it has to do with that because honestly, the way he does things is successful. And the reluctancy is actually good. This rumor that's saying he's tough to deal with other offices, who cares? That's what we want. In some ways, we want him to be a hard ass. They say he had an ego talking to other franchises when trying to do deals. So what? In some ways, I want our guy to have a swagger and a command of respect in some ways. And in some ways, we don't necessarily want your shitty ass deals. In some ways, this is how we don't get fleeced by, what do you expect? You can just call the Raptors and you can just give us a deal and we say yes to everybody. Fuck that. If Masai was the one who was good at saying no to y'all, well, I'm glad he did. So yeah, no, this isn't a plausible one, Shaq Lindsay, because honestly, a good franchise and a good front office doesn't make a lot of moves because they don't make many mistakes. And that's the thing I would say right there. That's right. Holding on to players till it's too late? Nah, he didn't do any of that either. That's all spin and perception. You can make that up if you want to. You could say it either way. Wayne's saying that 2019 success is slowly being dismantled. It wasn't slowly dismantled. They came from Kawhi immediately after we won the championship. This is not slowly. They did the shit right away. It came after us. But I'm happy to see the Celtics getting dismantled a year after their championship in the new NBA. Thank God that the rules are fair for everybody. And nobody's going to be able to hold a dynasty anymore. The Thunder may be able to hold their players for a little while because they're young and on their young contracts, but that's going to change in a couple years. They're going to be good for a couple years like this. Doesn't mean they're going to win the championship every year. And, well, the Celtics already dismantling their team this week. Well, that's how it is now. That's how it is. That's right. All the main contributors are mostly gone, Bobby, and probably a few admin. But the brain trust has been smashed. Chris Boucher is gone. We'll read in the papers. Yeah, the last remnants of the championship team may very well be people like Bobby Webster. Yeah. Front ownership, not front office. Yeah, I'm glad you figured out that discernment. Milbester saying, I'm just more shocked we drafted another French forward. Okay, I don't care. Stargate saying, Milbester, are you listening to the stream or just typing? It does have to do with the pick. I don't know if it does. Y'all can say that, but I can speculate this also. Seriously, I can speculate this. We don't know for sure how the draft went down, if there was a power struggle around the Raptors drafting. Seriously. Yeah, let's see. Monique saying, everyone checking in on me is in reference to Masai. It's tough. Yeah, we're all checking on each other. That's why a lot of the RFF that have not been here have shown up today. Shaq Lindsay saying, Common isn't the right choice, despite him being from Africa. I know, but I could speculate this, seriously. And I won't disagree with you. It may very well end up being that Colin Murray Boyles is the right choice in the long run. But we can speculate this because, honestly, all of our jaws dropped when they selected Colin instead of Common. You know that's true, Shaq Lindsay. So don't even gaslight me to think, oh my gosh, you weren't shocked that they took Colin Murray Boyles instead of Common? Because everybody thought we were going to take Malawach. Seriously. And he went the very next pick. So there's something weird about that, man. You may be very well be right. In time, it may tell that Common is a bust and we dodged a bullet. But I could easily piece this together like this. Once again, it's speculation, but it's plausible speculation. That's what I'm saying there. Stargate saying, look, Milbester, you're going back to the block list. Kaloy saying, we had the coolest president, bro, but Seymour's correct. Now the Raptors is a proper basketball organization. I hope MLSE can make it better, but I'm not holding my breath. A proper basketball organization. I don't know if that's right. Yeah. Having a bad day? What do you mean, Milbester? Our ownership got rid of our all-star, amazing, once-in-a-lifetime, generational team president, Masai Ujiri. How can you not fucking understand and read the room how monumentally huge this news is? Seriously, just because y'all don't care about it down there, are they even putting it on ESPN yet? They're going to put it up now. Probably at some point. They're going to be late to it, but they're going to finally say it. Sources. Ujiri out as Raptors vice chair and president. There it is. It's on ESPN now. There it is right there. And it's got Brian Winders and Bobby Marks and Tim Bontemps reacting to it. And this bullshit. Yeah, this is crazy, man. Let's see. Let's see if there's anything interesting in here at all as far as things. No, not really. It's just all the due diligence, the facts of the case right here. That's right. Seymour's saying it's a tough one today. Winning will heal the wounds. That's right. And Brian's saying in a couple years, when we see the young Raps do well, it'll have Masai's footprint all over it. And fuck MLSE and their stupidity. There you go. I'm with you, King. Fiercely saying, hang in there, Mo. Tough day for us all. Yep. Bryce is saying Masai had nothing to do with the draft, apparently. The draft picks were led by Bobby. That totally makes sense. Shir Khan saying, wow, Masai's out. What now? Shir Khan, good to see you. Raptor Freak Rookie of the Year in the past. Yeah, what now? Well, we pick up and go forward with what we got, man. Stargate saying, I warned you guys about Keith Pelly. when he was hired. I knew this guy was not a basketball guy. It's not Keith Pelly. It's Rogers. Stargate. He's the fall guy in the middle. It's Rogers. Just say it correctly. It's Ed Rogers. Keith Pelly, in some ways, he still has a chance to, he's just doing what Ed told him to do. Let's just put it that way. And in some ways, let's see what Keith Pelly does. He could be friendly and helpful to the Raptors. I don't want to turn on him. I don't want the Raptors fans to turn on Keith Pelly yet, but we will when it really looks like it. This is the one. This is where you blame Ed Rogers, because Keith Pelly's only following orders. Let's just put it that way. So we got to give Keith Pelly a chance and ingratiate, and hopefully Raptors Nation won't hate him as much as Ed Rogers in the future. But in some ways, I won't protect Keith Pelly in this instance, just because I know he's just doing his job and he's getting the orders from above. Does that make sense? Jason saying, I saw an open gym clip of CMB's pick and the brass were excited, including Masai. I wonder if this decision came out of the blue and Masai didn't see it coming. Yeah, I hate that the last clip that we're going to see of Masai involved with the Raptors is the call to Colin saying, you're going to come up here. We're excited to have you up here and all this stuff. And that's it. Man, that's messed up. That's messed up. Colin's going to come up here and meet Masai, and then it's done. It's done. Boycott Rogers. You're exactly right, Isaac. And you're going to get a dunk for that. Thank you, Isaac Campbell, for supporting this channel as a subscriber. I appreciate you very much. And thank you for not subscribing and supporting Rogers. 24 on the dunk list for Isaac Campbell right there. Tristan saying comparison to Harrell is interesting. Yeah, not just because of his hair, but because Clifford Omoruyi has long ass arms and he throws it down with a lot of strength in traffic around other people. Like, how Montrezl Harrell always seemed like he might hurt someone near the basket. Well, Omoruyi's like that. He might hurt someone just because he has these big windmill-like arms that just go and jam it within like 2 feet of the basket. Yeah. Shaq Lindsay saying Masai, Bobby, and the scouting department did their homework long before the draft. CMB was the first to work out for the Raptors during the process. Yeah, we can say all this, Shaq Lindsay, but what if there was a power struggle? Because this is the thing. Bobby even kind of overtured this in the thing with the Hello and Welcome podcast, that they're brain trust and they all compare notes. And in some ways, they kind of talk about different ideas and different things. Now, Bobby ultimately is the GM and he makes the final drafting call, but Masai usually would give a seal of approval, like I described earlier. It could very well be that they weren't allowing Masai to have the seal of approval and they were just going ahead and making the deals or the drafts without Masai saying, yeah, well, Masai, do you get him behind this? It's like, it doesn't matter if Masai wants it. He's not in charge anymore, guys. So just, Bobby, you just make the deals. I mean, seriously, I don't doubt what you're saying, Shaq Lindsay, that they had a list already. But once again, we're trying to figure out answers to the timing of this and how this happened. And it's fishy that it's the day after the draft. I'm just saying, man. And in some ways, look, I've speculated this, Shaq Lindsay, that they did not allow Ujiri to be the leader on this draft. And that he said, well, if I'm not even going to be in charge, what am I even doing here still? And they say, yeah, what are you doing even here still? You want to rip up your contract right now? You know what? If it's going to be like this whole entire last year of my contract, where I'm a lame duck and I don't have any power actually, and you guys are just doing things and I'm just a figurehead, yeah, I might as well just walk away now. Seriously, it could have happened like that, Shaq Lindsay? Seriously. And I get what you're saying. You can stand up for Murray Boyles, but there could be a real speculation that Masai wanted Mal to watch and he get what he wanted, and that's part of the reason why they parted ways this morning. I mean, that could be actually really true. Seriously, don't discount me and say, oh, no, this is just true. We don't know exactly what's true, Shaq Lindsay. We don't know exactly what's true. Fiercely saying Kendrick Perkins legit defended his position yesterday when saying we would be in the 6th spot. Pretty sure his statement ruffled a few feathers. Glad he gets recognized as we have talent. Yeah, in some ways, it's just hot air. I like that it's for us, but it's still just hot air from a talking head on ESPN. Stargate saying, yeah, I agree with Shaq. CMB will still seems like a Masai pick. I don't know if that's true, though. Seriously, you guys can say this, but I don't know. Either way, we'll find out more of the details. We may never find this out for sure, but we may find this out for sure at some point. Shaq Lindsay saying MLSE has no idea as to who is on the roster. Yep. Basketball people need to do basketball stuff. That's right. Bobby just got extended. Yep. Roger Raymond saying this can't be just about saving money. It feels like a gut punch. It's a personal grudge. It's a Rogers, I finally got you, Masai thing is what it is. And, He has had it out for him, and him taking over the whole entire company. That is how it allowed him to have the power to be able to do this. Larry Tannenbaum loves Masai Ujiri, and we'd never have fired him. Would never allowed this to happen. Ed Rogers finally gets power and control of MLSE. This is what happens. So this is what it is. Exactly right there. It's a personal grudge Ed Rogers had against Masai, and that's why he's out. That's right. Shaq Lindsay saying, I say again, Masai didn't get fired. He quit. Well, and once again, Shaq, I'll say he quit because Ed Rogers told him he had no power anymore. And he said, well, why would I be here then? You understand how I'm describing this, right? Brian Sand was just talking to someone who knows Pelly well and said it's not cost. It's cost-cutting move to get rid of Masai. It's a cost-cutting move. Yeah. Well, that's part of it. And that's what Rogers said in the first place, that he didn't like how much money was going towards Masai for his annual salary, which he gets paid like a player. In some ways, he's like, that was part of the murmurs and the dumb shit that was heard. It's like, well, and you'd hear like the people that were kind of echoing what Rogers thinks in spaces, like they'd say shit like, well, why do we need Masai if we have Bobby? That was a lot of like what Rogers plant people were saying to try and usurp and get Masai out. Is they would say, well, why do we need both of them? If they're like, we don't need both of them. That was a lot of logic here. So that lines with the whole idea. This is a cost-cutting move. Is like, in some ways, we don't think that Masai is necessary. He's not necessary because, he's just bringing Giants of Africa, and that makes we have to spend more money on that. He's not necessary because his contract is so exorbitant. It's not necessary because Bobby Webster is actually doing the GM job, and Masai is just the team president figurehead. This is the kind of shit that they rationalize for this. Infamous saying, in a predominantly black league, people don't understand how important having a black man in charge is. I speak to people in the USA. This is going to have some serious ripple effects. Trust me. Yeah, in some ways, that was a leg up and an advantage we had for our team, Ed Rogers, you idiot, that some of the players down south would maybe more likely want to come and play for us because a black man's in charge. And you can go ahead and say, no, that doesn't have a factor. Bullshit, it does. It does. Trust me, it does. The underrepresentation of African Americans, African Canadians, Africans in general, in management, in positions of power in the NBA and other sports has always been there. Think about how long it took for black quarterbacks to play in the NFL. Think about how long it took for black coaches to coach in all the sports. And in some ways, Masai Ujiri was a glass ceiling breaker for executives of color. And in some ways, racist piece of shits like Ed Rogers hate what he represents. In some ways, you guys can go ahead and say nothing that to do with race, but the man is from Africa straight up, and he is a black man, and you got to take that into account, especially when you know the politics of the owner of the team is absolutely MAGA. You motherfuckers that don't believe me when I'm saying this, I'm telling you right now, racists are on the march around the world right now because they're emboldened and they're seeing how fucking the United States is being a leader of racism around the world. And people are saying that people are being more racist around them than ever because they feel like they can, because it's comfortable in Trump's world. Well, I'm just saying, there's linkages here, man. Isaac saying, no, you got fired, not getting extended. I'm telling you guys. I'm just telling you. It'll come out more in the future, I'm sure. We'll find out some at one. We'll find out some of it. Most saying Chucky Hepburn signing is satisfying. Yeah, two-way deal for Chucky Hepburn. He's a very interesting player. The fact that we got some defensive stalwarts is amazing. ACC Defensive Player of the Year for college this year. ACC Defensive Player of the Year. A two-way contract, undrafted by the Raptors after the draft. Chucky Wepner. Check him out. He's interesting, man. He knows how to steal a ball. He's really crazy at stealing the ball. He like gets the ball from people in weird ways. Let's just put it that way. You watch his highlight. You'll see what I'm talking about with Chucky. Chucky's here, guys. Chucky Wepner. It's such a weird fucking name, too, man. I'm all about it, man. He's going to be interesting. Kaloy saying Bobby might not want to be an organization president and just limit his scope to team management. That could be true, too. Although, he could also see the writings on the wall. Bobby's a very smart guy. He could be like, yeah, I don't want to be the team president because honestly, I can just see you firing me next year, Keith Pelly. You need me as a GM, I'll stay as a GM. I could see that. Isaac's saying it's not being reported as a mutual agreement. It's not being reported. They're just saying they parted ways. Shaq Lindsay's saying he was overqualified for the position, which threatened ownership. You're talking about Masai? Man, Shaq Lindsay, tread lightly, all right? Tread lightly. You sound like an operative for Rogers right now. Ed wanted his face on the organization, not Masai. Well, fuck that. We don't want Ed's face on the organization. It's ugly, it's racist, and he's a piece of shit. And we were much better off. Like, nobody wants to come here to play for Ed Rogers. People want to come here to play for Masai Ujiri. So, Shaq Lindsay, if you're an agent for Rogers and a voice for him in this chat, man, don't be with them, man. Don't be with them right now. In some ways, I might ban you from the channel again. You back, but I might ban you again, honestly. Smith saying 2013 and 2024 is a long time to be in charge, man. Yeah, and he did a great job, and he was continuing to do a great job, honestly. Kareem saying, if I'm Masai, I'm buying season tickets courtside. When the camera pans to him, the crowd will go wild every time. I love that. At least humor is bringing me through this tragedy of today. And Kareem Thomas, thank you for the gift of humor. Seriously, 135. 135 to Kareem on the dunk charts. I hope he stays in Toronto and continues to raise his family here. Well, hopefully Toronto can still be a good home base for him in some of his activities as far as his philanthropy and what his possible plans are. The Giants of Africa is kind of centered from here, but who knows what he'll do. All right, Shaq Lindsay, you're on thin ice. Just understand this. Ed was a Spicy P guy and not Scotty. Spicy P's success and Fred's trashing the organization for building around Scotty may have something to do with it. Yeah, you're extrapolating really far here. And in some ways, we're in damage control right now, and you're trying to pull apart even more. So I'm giving you a second strike. If you have a third comment that is going to piss me off, even though you subscribe to this channel, I will kick you off this channel because we're in a bad place right now. And I don't need anybody taking up the side of Ed Rogers today. So I'll just say that. So maybe review your comments because, all right, I'll give you one strike. If you have two more comments that piss me off, I'll kick you off. Wayne saying, my wish is for Masai to get an ownership group together and get an NBA franchise. Fuck working for people. You're smarter than that. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he could go. I don't know if he's going to go work with Teresa. That's a step down. In some ways, he's not going to go work for the Tempo. He could work for Larry still, though, in some ways like that. That could be the way. I don't know, man. We knew this was a bad thing when Bell sold their shares to Rogers. We knew it was. And this is what this is. It's exactly what this is. It's a domino from Bell getting out and Larry not being in charge anymore as the deciding vote and Ed being in charge now. Fuck Ed Rogers. And Shaq Lindsay, if you work for Ed Rogers and you're here on his behalf, fuck you too, is what I'm going to say right now. That's right. Let's see. KG is saying this is a Tim Lewicki teardown. Leafs and Raps both dismantled. I mean, Tim Lewicki has such a short period of time around MLSE, but such a huge impact. And I don't even know if it's a teardown. I mean, the things that Lewicki and Masai built, they can never be taken away in some ways. The culture and the feelings and the championship, the OVO Center, the things that they did, TFC, all this stuff is going to go reverberate throughout the history now. And in some ways, they'll never be forgotten. And their legacy, you can't dismantle it. You can't dismantle it. These things will live on past them. Whether it's the OVO training center that Tim Lewicki started, and TFC being involved, or Masai Ujiri building We the North culture, Raptors respect, and a Raptors championship in 2019 that cannot be rescinded. So, yeah, KG, good to see you, man. And I wonder if you're Kevin Garnett. That's right. It was saying, I'm not going to lie. This is bringing tears to my eyes. He brought back the love I had for this team as a day one fan. Yeah, there we go, man. Shaq Lindsay, this is going to be your second strike. With Masai gone, Scotty's on thin ice. Yeah, you getting a second strike. You better review the rest of yours. That's your second strike right there. Seymour saying, thank you for feeding us Masai. Masai, the greatest Raptors GM. Raptors legend. Absolute legend, man. Seymour saying, I think Bobby knew too. Something is fishy. Man, these guys probably were feeling it. Like even at the Mo's birthday, when we were around the ladies from Giants of Africa, I was kind of like, I'm looking forward to the things you're doing this year and stuff like that. They were kind of weird energy when I was talking to them. So they may even kind of knew what was coming a little bit, just even at Mo's birthday. And she couldn't say anything about it. I wondered, didn't they say something like there's big things coming is what they said? I think that's what Kimberly said. She didn't go in and elaborate. She said, there's just big things coming. I didn't realize they were bad things, big things coming. It's crazy. Isaac saying, I know a pathway for Masai to become PM. Then he can get a team in Montreal and Vancouver is so weak. Ed Rogers can feel threatened again. Change your internet cell phone providers, folks. Yeah, I'm totally with you guys. Go and get Freedom Mobile. If you use Rogers for your phone, Freedom Mobile is a fantastic company. If you don't want to have him as internet, go get Tech Savvy. They're fantastic. If you have to, go back to Bell, even though it's crappy. At least you won't be with Rodgers, is what I'm saying. I mean, let's let him feel this. Seriously. People have power economically. And when we move together, we move stronger, is what I'm saying right now. That's right. James saying, no more Giants of Africa pipeline of talent. We don't know that for sure. There may be some friendly feelings towards our organization. You know, the Carter effect is an effect that felt in like 15, 10 years, 20 years after it. And Masai Ujiri's effect on the Raptors' presence in Africa may still reverberate. And there may be a lot of people that are young African players that love the Raptors because of Masai and Pascal and things like that. And they may very well be like, my dream is to play for the Raptors, even if Masai is not here. Because, you know, you got to think about the effects of things can be a little bit after effect. And I think this will be the case, James, that in some ways there will be a proclivity to like the Raptors from the continent of Africa still because of Ujiri's legacy. So I will say that, you know, just like, you know, Wemby wanted to go to the Spurs. Tony Parker didn't play for the Spurs when he went there, but he loved the Spurs because France loves the Spurs because they had Boris Diaw and Tony Parker, two very prominent French players that the country rooted for. And that in some ways helped them get Victor down the road when he came to the Spurs. So that we got to understand there's a delay on the effect, the Carter effect and the Messiah effect will still be felt in Africa. Yeah, Blackhawk saying tucked up, fucked up. Yeah, Neil, good morning to you. Good to see you. Kaloy saying one of the biggest problems we have is that even with Masai, we aren't much of a free agent destination. What more with Masai is gone? Jeez. Well, in some ways, that's why we need to covet people like hometown hero RJ Barrett, Raptors fans, and fucking stop putting him in trade machines. You're doing the work of the enemies when you do that. RJ loves playing for his hometown. We want him here. He's a good, solid, very talented young player. Brandon Ingram is in on the fold. We got him on the extension. You know, in some ways, we've got a good core, and we need to go forward healthy, and we need to continue to do what we do on this channel, and we need to make sure that we're going the right direction. We will be parsing this out and being a little bit more critical of things just in case. You know, we gave the benefit of the doubt a lot because Masai was around and good things were happening, but I may be a little bit more parsing things out a little bit in more detail and kind of looking at things. We're definitely doing 3 hours today, guys. So I will be talking for another half hour or so still. Let's see. Kaloy saying Masai embraced that and devised the formula around it. Drafting and developing. Is there an existing basketball executive with the same patience? Yeah, that's the thing. I want patience. Some people get annoyed that he didn't make moves and stuff like that. Fuck all that. We didn't need to make these moves. Any kind of press that the Raptors didn't make certain moves because they didn't do this or that. Fuck all that. They weren't the right moves then. We are very methodical, plotting, and smart about moves. We don't make moves for the sake of moves. And I hope that anybody who comes in after Masai is not an idiot jabroni that makes moves for the sake of moves, because then we'll get that energy around our team like a Rob Babcock or a fucking Richard Petty and that bullshit. And we don't need that. We don't need that. Trust me. We need smart, calculated, very, very intelligent plans by a singular captain who's in charge. And if there's a power struggle between Webster and the new president, I will be pissed off because that president wasn't even necessary to come here. And if you really wanted to cut that position, you should just cut that damn position because you parted ways with Masai this morning. That's what I say right there. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Kaloy saying most of the basketball executives are Americans, and the way it works down there, it doesn't necessarily work here. These are the problems I see. Yeah, they got to know their market and they got to know what's going on. Listen, I don't want them to hire a new team president. Don't do it. Keith Pelly, just don't even fucking hire a new one. Just you work with Bobby, all right? Seriously. If we need to hire another assistant GM to help Bobby with the workload, so be it. But in some ways, you don't need a go-between between Keith Pelly and Bobby Webster. That's not what we need at this point. Seriously. Reggie's saying, guys, ladies, the Raptors are going to survive this. There are other quality men and women that can do the job and do it well. Yeah, I don't know who they are. And in some ways, it's just like the Knicks coach. They're not going to replace this position very easily at all. And in some ways, the next person to come in could be an absolute failure and an idiot. And that's probably what's going to happen with the Knicks, with their coach. Seriously. Yeah. Seymour saying we're all lucky that we witnessed the special 2019 season. Yeah, we're going to hopefully get a second one still. We got to go get it. That's right. Smooth saying this is in the early 2000s. It's true. We've accumulated a lot, but you know, the worries and the threats of us sliding into purple era bullshit with the Raptors purple era idiots that want purple back, is very, very, very dangerous now because Ujiri is out. That's right. Masai is the reason for the Raptors' success, and that success is so strong the Raptors are a global team now. That's right. We built a lot, and we need to keep it intact. That's right. The president's job of the Raptors is a coveted one. I don't know. We'll see how much it's coveted. You're big shoes to replace, and I don't think it's right there. Roger Raymond saying, thank you for your dedicated support for the Toronto Raptors and Masai Ujiri. I appreciate you, Roger. Thank you for your support of this channel as a subscriber. I really appreciate you, man. Common Crazy saying no swearing. MLSE phased out president GM. They didn't phase it out. They're going to hire a new one, apparently. It's stupid. Kareem saying, watch, 5 players request a trade. Fuck that. I don't want that kind of noise. Don't even start saying that shit. This is what I'm saying is that he keeps it all together. We don't want things to start unraveling because of the news this morning, guys, for our team. Brian saying, I'm not happy because I know Masai's watched To The Point. I'm sure he's watched both of us for sure. Smooth saying, whoever the new president is, please, please, please support that person. We will try. We will try. But honestly, I'm going to suss out who they are, and I will try and determine whether they're going to be a good person or not. And man, I'm telling you, the shoes to fill are not going to be easy to fill in any kind of way. That's why I don't think they should even try and fill them. In some ways, I feel like this is part of the fucking fuck you from Ed Rogers to Masai. It's like, yeah, oh, unlike Shanahan, we're going to replace you and show that you're replaceable. See, I don't like that they're hiring a new team president. They should have done the same damn thing they did with Shanahan if they're going to get rid of Masai and just get rid of the position. So it's kind of bullshit. In some ways, it makes me think that Keith Pelley is the president of hockey over the GM of the Leafs, and he doesn't know basketball enough to do it himself. So he has to have some jabroni come in and do it. You should have just had Masai do it, you dumbasses. Man, you should have just done that, man. Yeah, let's see. Mel Buster, why exactly they let their VP go? Are you paying attention? Are you listening to me? I've been talking about this for about 2.5 hours. So honestly, just open your ears. And maybe you can understand this whole situation with Ujiri. Weren't they satisfied with the rebuilding? I was going, no, Ed Rogers is a piece of shit. He's a racist. And he hated Masai Ujiri for 4 years now. And he's wanted to fire him for a while. And, well, he bought majority ownership of the team last year and finalized the deal recently. And now he's gotten rid of Ujiri. Ujiri didn't do anything wrong. Ujiri's not a bad person to be in charge. It's just Ed Rogers doesn't like him personally. So it's a grudge. It's a grudge being met out. In some ways, it's just like what Trump's doing to people who are his enemies before. He's coming with revenge tour. And this is Ed Rogers' little revenge tour in the Raptors is what this is, Milbester. Seymour saying, yesterday, Lex said Bobby called next season a rebuild, so the team is in a turnover for sure because everyone knows the East is wide open next year, but we ain't going for the chip, Bobby's words. Yeah, he did say that. But, fuck around and find out. Brandon Ingram's that good. Let's go and do it for Masai. Let's go get it. Why not? Fuck this. I say we go get the championship the year after Masai left. Seriously. Wayne saying, is that correct, what Josh said about Masai's ego? How dare a person be confident in their achievements coming from a D student, which outlet is Josh, the star? Let's write a retort to that fool. Yeah, I don't like the way he put that in. Like I'm saying, this is part of the legwork to justify the move. And some Raptors fans will see it and they'll think, oh, he's just a very egotistical guy. In some ways, in some ways, it's like, look, Masai Ujiri earned the ability to be who he is. And it's not like he's a jerk. It's not like he is an asshole. He may be a little cocky, but he's earned that right. I'm sure there's GMs and presidents around the league that are much worse than him and that have not earned the right like he has. So I'm just saying, man, Josh Lewenberg, shame on you for pushing a narrative that Masai's ego got him to lose the job, because that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. Milbester, you're talking about Pistons. I don't care about Pistons. I don't care about any of that. Jason said the Raps brass pre-draft stated that they're tanking the best player available, not drafting for need. Common Malawatch, while being a great pick, the timeline was the issue. Common needs time. He's very raw. I'll agree with all of that. He does need time, but it was really fishy because we knew we needed a center. And Masai's the one who said we needed a center at the end of the year. And in some ways, there's conflicting messages in different ways, for sure. For sure. Milbester saying, you guys think the Sixers will rebound? No, I don't care about that, man. You got us against them, ahead of them? Good. A lot of the Sixers depends on health. Joel Embiid's a dead end either way. So it's not like they're going to win a championship. As long as they got Joel Embiid, he's in the way of them winning anything. Honestly, they won't get anywhere with him. Stargate saying maybe Bobby doesn't want the president job. I told you I didn't trust Keith Pelly as far as I could throw him. I still don't. Once again, remember Stargate. Let's direct the anger to the top. Don't go for the guy in the middle. Seriously, we got to work with Keith, at least for right now. But this is totally ownership. This is ownership, not necessarily Keith. Not necessarily Keith, man. We the North. All right, Shaq. I like that. I like that. Duke Rock saying, in regards to promises in the open gym clip on YouTube, you hear Bobby say to CMB, I told you we draft you. Sounds like a promise to me. Yeah, they worked him out first. They were very, very much impressed by him. Once again, I say this is a speculation. And is this that far off from speculation? Like maybe the power struggle for who we draft was going on for like a month or two before this? That like besides, like, I know we need another center, guys. And I know Common is our guy. I want to get Common. And could it be that the Rogers Brass was like, we don't want another African, Masai. In some ways, people are starting to say certain things about what you're trying to do here in Toronto, and we don't want you to keep bringing Africans here. In some ways, we want to go and get a different player this time, because in some ways, we feel like these African guys may have a certain loyalty to you, and if I'm going to fire you in the next year, they may take off on us. So it's like, let's not waste time and get another guy from Sudan that may be loyalist to Masai and not want to be here after he leaves. Because I'm really worried about Shamshay now. Seriously, guys. In some ways, Shamshay being on our team, it could be like McGrady or Stoudemire with Isaiah Thomas. Let's just put it that way. So, even if they had decided Colin and he was one of the top 5, either way, I can speculate that maybe Masai wanted Malawatch, guys. And that is not a crazy speculation. That is not. Seriously. Chris comes saying, I must say the highlight of the day is you blasting Ed Rogers overall. It's a rough day. Keep up the great work, Lex. I appreciate that, Criscom. Yeah, fuck you, Ed Rogers. You fucking piece of shit. Corporate fucking billionaire piece of shit asshole. Billionaires are ruining the world. And, well, a billionaire has done a really shitty thing to the city of Toronto today and the country of Canada as a whole. He has parted ways with the great Masai Ujiri. Absolute idiot, man. Reggie saying, please keep supporting the team, guys and ladies. It is in the end. Toronto will be okay. I'm with that on you. I'm with that on you for sure, Smooth. That's right. Milbester saying the entire Duke starting 5 got drafted this week. They're all in the NBA. Okay, Milbester, why? I'm with Shaq Lindsay. I'm going to give Shaq Lindsay a dunk. You're coming around, Shaq Lindsay. If you're a Rogers operative, you did not get kicked out. You're coming around if you're coming at Milbester for that. Seriously. So, yes, Shaq Lindsay, here you go. 21 on the dunk chart. I love that. Milbester, why? Why, Milbester? Why? Duke's saying they like CMB so much to take him for dinner. It's not sure the Raps do that for every person they work out. They do. That Bobby said they work out and they have them for 48 hours. They come up, they fly up one day, they kind of hang out and hang around the city. If they really got to get out of there, maybe they work out that day. If they don't, they have dinner with the player. They go out, they have them stay at a hotel. They watch him like a hawk on everything that's going on. They have a handler around him that reports to the team on how they acted when they weren't being watched by everybody. So no, they take everybody out to dinner. This is not special. All these draft picks and people that come up, they get this kind of treatment, just so you know. Chris comes saying, if Masai ever had an unfiltered talk about behind the scenes with Rogers, that would be amazing. After I heard that Shanahan, I wouldn't be surprised to hear more BS. Yeah, the stuff about Brandon Shanahan, the pictures, we don't know exactly how difficult it was for Masai Ujiri to live on the moon as a black man on the moon. In some ways, it may have been different for him than Bobby Webster in this total situation. I'm telling you, we don't know exactly. And maybe Ujiri is too classy to ever tell it. But who knows, man? Maybe someday we will get some of the puzzle pieces and we'll understand more of what just happened. Seymour saying Bobby must love the in-house rivalry. First having RJ and Scotty, then Grady from Kansas and the guard from Kansas State. Now you get Martin and Murray Boyles, enemies turned frenemies. They're not even really enemies. There's a lot of respect, and that's not a rivalry. The rivalry is going to be more between Martin and Scott. I'm going to say this right now. We had a little bit of it with Bruce Brown and Scott because of Florida State and University of Miami. There was some shit talk, but this is even worse, guys. Florida State, Florida is a huge rivalry. And Elijah Martin and Scotty Barnes are on opposite sides of that. So you're talking about a rivalry. It's not between Murray Boyles and Martin. It's between our guy Scott. Because I know as a Florida State Seminole, I hate the Gators. And in some ways, when I saw that we drafted a Florida Gator with our second round pick, I wasn't totally happy because I'm a Seminole, just like Scotty is. And we're trained and taught to hate Florida Gators. So that's why I never liked you, Matt Bonner. You're a great guy otherwise, but you're a Florida Gator. That's the one reason why I don't like you. I like you every other way, but I don't like you for that. Monique saying W stream, W vibes, go Raptors for life. That's right. We must carry on. Strong forever, just helping limit the comments. I appreciate that. Shaq Lindsay saying this. Okay, let's be careful here. Masai was overqualified for the position, probably looking for bigger things. Masai is a legend and a king in his own right. Kings need no leaders. Well, I really do think, man, I mean, you know what? He's overqualified for anything he does in his life. He's just that kind of quality of a person, man. And bigger things, well, I hope it is in politics and charity. I really do. Step away from the NBA, man. You're better than it, Masai. You're better than it. And if there's any mistreatment towards you by Ed Rogers in any kind of way, you're better than this. And you go on the Lakers, you know that'll be a shit show. You know that would be absolute shit show if you go there. Atlanta, seriously, there's no prestige in that. You go into Atlanta, you might as well go there and work for NBA or, this broadcasting instead of if you're going to go to Atlanta, then work for the Hawks. Come on, man. Yeah. Let's see. Wayne said he didn't know that Masai was born in England. Yeah, he was born in England. Yep, as Nigerian. Yep. Let's see. Milbester saying Masai will give me a long history lesson, pre-American Revolution, England. I would love that story. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I don't know what that comment's about, Milbester, but I'll allow it. Let's see. Randolph is next. I jumped ahead. Let me make sure I don't miss it. Lex, so how does this work? Is it effective immediately, that Masai thing? Is there a transition? He's gone. He's gone as of this morning. They parted ways. He is not involved with our team anymore. He does not work for the Raptors anymore. It's a sad fucking day. That's what it is. Sorry, Common Crazy. Yeah, G saying, where can we see the press conference? Will it be on YouTube, Raptors? Yeah, probably. Probably be on Raptors YouTube at 1 o'clock. Stargate saying, Ed Rogers is about to be the most hated owner in the league. Well, I don't know. The Dallas owner is pretty hated. The Dallas owner is pretty hated right now. Nico Harrison, too. Yeah. Stargate saying, with all due respect, Lex, Ed Rogers handpicked Keith Pelly himself. There's a reason why Ed brought him in specifically. Masai was a threat to Ed Rogers, and he got in his feelings. Yeah, but I'm saying don't go ahead and go to the head of the snake. Don't go ahead and just do the messenger, man. I mean, listen, we have to navigate this situation going forward, and we don't want to be all out war with everybody. In some ways, I'll pick the fight with Ed Rogers because I know it emanates from him, and he is the cause and the center of all this. Keith Pelly, he took a job. He's getting paid. In some ways, that's part of it. We may not trust Keith Pelly, but we have to a degree. In some ways, we have to kind of hope that he is a good person. So I, in some ways, don't want to come at him because I don't want him to shit on our team and make it worse out of spite or anything like that. So let's be nice to Keith Pelly for at least now. Now, if he steps in it at 1 o'clock and says some crazy ass shit, yeah, we'll go after him. But no, let's give the credit where the credit is due. You can say Keith Pelly fired Masai Ujiri today, but no, Ed Rogers did. Let's give it to the head of the snake. Seriously. You wanted me to go off on Keith Pelly? I'm not going to do it yet. I will go off on him at some point, but I'm not doing it today. No two-finger salute for Keith Pelly. The two-finger salute is squarely for Ed Rogers. Squarely. That's what I say right there. Milbester's saying, so who took over as Raptors VP? We don't have one. It's open. And apparently they're going to hire somebody else. I don't want that. So I guess saying how dear this, I wasn't going to say this word because in some ways this has been a very jaded word that's been used a long time, uppity. Yeah. How dare this uppity N-word size up with me? I'll show him, Ed Rogers. Yeah. Yeah. And in some ways, like, look, he made it clear he didn't want to pay him the money or him be in the job. And he couldn't do anything about it. In some ways, it's a power thing. That's what all these narcissists are with these fucking billionaires and idiots. It's all about narcissism. And if being able to do whatever the fuck you want, whether it's Jeff Bezos shutting down Venice to have a fucking dumbass wedding for this amount of money and all this kind of stuff, they don't like hearing the words no. And somebody told Ed Rogers no about Masai Ujiri 4 years ago? Well, he got his delayed yes when he could finally pay to make the decision like this. This is what it is right here. This is it, what it is. That's right. So any names for new basketball operations? I don't care. I don't even want to see the names. I don't even want to see the names. In some ways, they're going to have a hard time no matter what. You cannot fill these shoes. You cannot fill these shoes. Just like the Knicks cannot fill Tom Thibodeau's shoes. I'm telling you right now, they can't. Kaloy saying, I'm starting to agree with you, Stargate. Pelly, Rogers' ego will naturally want to put their stamp on all the teams and put in a person they can control of all the teams. Well, who knows with what Webster will do, man. Webster's a really smart guy. I think he values being here with the Raptors. He lives in Cabbagetown. He's got a nice young family. You know, in some ways, he's got roots here. He's felt very comfortable in Toronto for 13 years now. In some ways, will he be a yes man and go along with the company lines? Probably. And he'll do the job well enough that he can probably help us still be successful. So we'll have to see. I do trust Bobby Webster like I trust Masai Ujiri. So at least we got that in the damage control from today. Yeah. Stargate saying Keith Pelly's just a minion for Ed and his cronies. Fuck all of them. Yeah. I mean, in some ways, I get what you're saying, man. And I mean, I want to place blame, but we have to work with Keith still. And in some ways, I want this to be a good working relationship. And in some ways, I want to give him a benefit of the chance still. He met with Monique, and he gave his time of the day to Monique Lawrence. And in some ways, he has to see Monique Lawrence, the super fan, somebody who really cares about this team a lot. He has to understand there's people like her that are involved in this. And he can't be fucking being a destroying, destructive, negative force. And if he can smile to her face and talk to her in a sweet way and be very kind with his time, you know, we have to believe that that's who he is, because he did that in the last year. Monique got to hang out with Keith Pelly for like 15 minutes or so and talk to him straight up. And he was very, very kind and nice to her. So this is part of why I'm judging this, is because Mo sussed him out personally, his energy next to him. And she kind of vouched for him a little bit as being a nice guy and being very honest and forthright with her when she asked him questions and talking to him. So that's part of the reason why. All right, Shaq Lizzie say, no, I'm not. He's like, I'm not Rogers. He's like, I'm not Rogers. I love Masai. Okay, good. I wanted to believe that. It's just in some ways, I don't want to pull things apart worse. In some ways, we're doing damage control today, guys. There's going to be enough of our haters and enemies around the NBA and media spaces. They're going to do so much damage right now, all kinds of speculation and all kinds of shit. We don't want to do it ourselves. We don't want to start speculating Scotty is going to leave. We don't want to start speculating this, and this, because these dominoes can fall fast, and we don't want more dominoes to fall. We are doing damage control, and we don't want to add to the noise in some ways. That's what I'm saying. So like I saying, the good thing is I like Bobby, and I believe Bobby really wants to win as well and put his stamp on his organization as a winner. That's the bright side of all this. Not too sure about Tolzman yet. Tolzman's fine. He's great too, and he's a really smart guy. No, this is not a good. There's no bright side to this. This is a bad thing all around. This is just a bad thing all around. At least these guys are still here. I guess that's a little bit of a bright side, I guess. Yeah. So he's saying Atlanta is seen as the leading contender for Masai Ujiri, according to the NBA trade report. Yeah, see, they've wanted him for a while down there, for sure. As he's saying, live at 1 o'clock, Keith Pelly addresses Masai Ujiri's departure. All right. Shaq saying, just that he was put in a box and needed wings. I'm not on Ed's team. Misunderstanding. All right. I'll give you a dunk, man. And thank you for clarifying. It's just, man, we're really sensitive right now. You can tell, honestly. So you're getting your second dunk for today, 24. You got 2 strikes and 2 dunks. That's pretty good. Seriously, we're really sensitive to this. And in some ways, the energy coming in here, people got to be careful right now, because us diehards are really in a bad place right now. We're pretty pissed. I know you guys are with me on this. And I know you are too, Shaq. Stargate saying, now we really cannot trade RJ or Jakob. So people need to stop with that. We need them even more now. This team has to win next season. Has to be top 6 and to get at least to the second round. I want all that. I want all that. Yes, I'm with you. Shaq Lindsay say, you're really quick on banning me. Not fair. Well, you have a history from before. And that's why. If you know, your history is kind of shady, and it was really the Zach LaVine time where you just wouldn't let go of Zach LaVine, talking to him about him over and over again. And I mean, you liked him a lot, and I was all about it in some ways. It was funny. But yeah, I think we were actually banned from the channel for a brief period of time, but I felt bad and I brought you back. So that's why, because you're on a list that has been banned before. So Some people I don't ban at all. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll give you some rope, but there's a little bit less rope for you just because of the history from before. But Shaq Lindsay, you're cool. You're cool. And you do support the channel. So I do really appreciate that. So in some ways, it's just like, man, a lot of us are upset, and I don't want to take it out on anybody. I really don't. I really don't. Smooth saying Stargate 100%. Shaq Lindsay saying, I'm only voicing their perspective, not mine. Okay. And that's valid. That's valid in some ways. But yeah, make sure you're not getting confused to be their voice. That's what I say, I guess. Stargate saying, the thing is, Lex, I view Keith Pelly as Richard Petty 2.0. Same mentality. This could be true. This could be true. And I'll give you that. This could be true, that he could be Richard Petty 2.0. Yikes. Kaloy saying Stargate 100%. Bobby and Darko's job is dependent on winning now. Yep. G saying, Lex, I think you're misinterpreting Shaq's comments. Don't want to interject, but also don't want your hurt towards this to misinterpret things. I appreciate that, G. And I think we caught it before I went too far. Shaq Lindsay, I apologize if I came at you hard. If you were just quoting the Rogers point of view and it wasn't your own views necessarily. All right. So I think we're good. He's very disappointed. Yeah. Yeah. And you don't have to shut up and just listen. It's just in some ways, you know what? I'm in a bad place. Everybody is. And we were lashing out. We're lashing out. And in some ways, I don't want you to be an innocent victim. You're cool. You're good, man. I'll wipe your 2 strikes off. All right. No more strikes. You're good. Stargate saying Keith Pelly is just a little nicer and knows how to schmooze better. That may be true. That may be true. But in some ways, that's all we can do is that we got this corporate motherfucker in between. In some ways, we just got to see what happens, man. Stargate saying, Lex, again, with all due respect, Keith was brought in by Ed himself, bro. He was brought in as his minion for him in the sports side of the Rogers organization. Ed Rogers only hires like minds. Yeah, I don't know. Either way, once again, you understand what I'm trying to say, Stargate. Let's give Keith a chance because we have to continue to work with him. In some ways, Ed Rogers, we can be pissed at him as the owner and say, fuck you, Ed Rogers. It's kind of like with New York. In some ways, yeah, the fans in New York can hate James Dolan, but they shouldn't hate Leon Rose, right? They shouldn't hate Leon Rose. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that. I don't know. In some ways, I'm giving a pass to Keith Pelly today. I know you want to direct anger to him, but personally, I'm not going after him today. I know it's Ed Rogers. I know it's Ed Rogers. Lisa Rogers should be running this company, not Ed. We all know it. I believe that too. I'll give you a dunk for that one. I completely agree with that, Stargate, that the sister should be in charge, but, you know, misogyny and the whole idea that men are entitled to get things, even if the daughter is older. That's the thing. She's the oldest sibling. And in some ways, if there wasn't patriarchy, there would be a woman in charge of Rogers right now instead of this idiot, Ed the Third. Seriously. Kenne's here. We move on, but trust me, our soul is gone. Yeah, I hate this. Kenne, original Raptors freak. Great to see you, man, in the chat. I hate that it's on these circumstances. I'm not going to disagree with him. Our soul is gone. In some ways, he very much is a soul. M. Jones is saying, today's my birthday. So much for a celebration. I hate that, M. Jones. Good to see you back, man. Long time, Lex. God bless you and the freaks. God bless you too, M. Jones. And I hate that something like this has brought everybody back out to come back to the channel and check in on us. Is that this news today is bringing back people, man. In some ways, I don't want to get my numbers bumped because Ujiri's gone. I really don't. M. Jones, salute to you, man. Thank you for being here. Reggie saying, a lot of buzz online linking Atlanta Masai picking up serious steam. Well, they figure because he's open that they're just going to try. People are going to throw money at him and try and get him. I would say this. If you're Ujiri, are you going to go to Atlanta or LA? You're going to go to LA. You're going to go to the Lakers in some ways. That's where he needs to go. If he's going to go to another team, I say, Masai, don't mess around with Atlanta. Go all the way out to LA. Yeah, and push LeBron out for the last part and get your new era, the Ujiri era of Lakers, fine. If that's really what's going to happen. Rich Paul, you on the line with Masai already for LeBron to get him out there. Man, M. Jones is saying this is one of those non-comprehensible times. Masai Grote. Yeah. Yeah. You know, Kyle Lowry is the greatest Raptor of all time on the court, but maybe the greatest Raptor of all time in general is Masai Ujiri. Yep. Stargate saying, I'm not saying you should argue with me about Keith Pelly. I've just seen his type before, and I kind of know why he got the job. Yeah, he's done this stuff for different entities, golf companies, TSN. Yeah. I mean, I don't dispute what you're saying. It's just I have to give him a chance still. And in this one, this is Rogers' grudge. In some ways, we got to give a chance to Keith Pelly to actually show that he's not full of shit, that he'll let basketball people do the basketball operations, and that he wants to invest in winning and getting championships. These are the things we have to see. Yeah, James saying nothing lasts forever. Yeah, it's sad, man. It's true. It's very, very true. Shout out to Masai for the 2019 championship. That's right. Kaloy saying, when I'm an old man sitting on my chair, whenever someone says Masai Ujiri, I'll shed a tear. Man, let's not do that. It's not like the man died. Let's let honestly, he's going to come back and he's going to get his kudos with us. Man, it's not the point where is Rodgers going to ban him from the arena like Charles Oakley in Madison Square Garden? It's not going to get like that. And shame on you, Ed Rodgers, if you're that punitive and grudge worthy that Masai Ujiri will never, ever be allowed to come back to a Raptors game and wave to the crowd. Fuck you if you do that. Seriously, fuck you if you do that. That's right. Let's see. Calois, all right, I read that. Milbester's saying, guys, send out my condolences. A relative of mine passed away in Dominican Republic. He's from Mexico. My aunt's husband, my dad's sister. I'm devastated, guys. He'll be missed eating lunch. I'm sorry to hear that, Melbester. I'm sorry to hear that. It's just a sad day all around, man. James saying, Bobby probably has a different style of drafting and trading players now. He can do things his way. Yeah, we'll have to see if there's anything like that. I mean, it kind of seemed like that already in the last 2 days. That's what we're trying to say here, is that the draft was very weird this year. It was weird. Let's just put it that way. This wasn't exactly how I saw the draft going. Maybe Bobby Webster was always the guy who was pushing this Vision 6-9 before, and now we're back on the defense first, offense later, Vision 6-9 shit, because Bobby is now more in charge. And Masai was kind of pulling us out of that. I don't know. We can speculate this all kinds of different ways here. All kinds of different ways. Now you see the news on ESPN about this. Yeah. Pelly's going to dress stuff in 40 minutes. Yep. I better get off the line. I want somebody to ask Keith later. Yeah. Are you full of shit? Yeah. I'm all about that. Yeah. Condolences to Tristan, to Milbester. Condolences from Tristan also. And Nako also. Yeah. It's sad, man. Somebody's saying, do you think you will stream the press conference, Lex? No, I won't. But I'll be in Discord, and we can talk in there and react on that. And we'll, of course, do the stream tomorrow, and we'll react even more tomorrow 9:30. Saturday, share the love club. Farewell, Masai Ujiri. We love you. Yeah, we're sharing the love from Masai 100,000 times, million, 100,000, billion times over tomorrow. That's right. Stargate saying, I hope the media asks the tough questions and not half-ass it. I doubt it. I hope they don't try and sewer him in some glorified, grandstanding, stupid-ass fucking spectacle where the media, especially Grange, starts throwing some weird-ass questions to Pelly to allow him to sewer Masai somehow, someway. That's what I'm going to be watching out. So don't kick the man on his way out is what I must say to them right now. All right, let's do the classic card and get our business done because I got 8 minutes till it's 3 hours and I want to be done. All right, guys, here we go. This is somebody that, some people have said maybe you should be on the Raptors soon. There you go. Here's your classic card. Make sure you see it well and write in the full name. And don't make me hold this for too long because in some ways I don't want that happening. Now, go saying I read that Masai leaving didn't impact how the Raptors draft per Brett Siegel. Yeah, maybe because he wasn't in charge from before and they were doing it already that way. Seriously, y'all can say it didn't impact the draft. And maybe that Masai was already a lame duck on the draft and he didn't have anything to do with it in the first place in some ways. Yeah, Brooke Lopez is the card of the day. You got the right Lopez brother, Nako the Nacho. It's not a hard card. So I'm going to give you 50 points on the classic card. Good to see Nako the Nacho get on the scoring board for the classic card in the new season of our Rapid Freak Trivia. That's right. You guys, it's very early. It's very early for somebody to distinguish themselves and get somewhere this year in the Rapid Freak Trivia. It's very early. There's very low scores. Amit Gaming, our season 3 champion, is the current leader of our thing right there. Yeah, Nako got it before you, just before you. All right, let me check the rest of my tabs and we'll get the fuck out of here, man. What a shitty day. What a shitty day. Like I said, ESPN gave us a B for our draft. They like our defensive-minded draft picks. And, hey, that's way better than a lot of the other teams, man. Like I said, the Celtics got a C-. And actually, they made it a C+. They changed it. It was a C-. You motherfuckers changed it. You idiots. You had it a C- yesterday. That's funny. Somebody probably complained or something like that. Who knows? But, yeah, there's a lot of teams that did way worse than us. Like the Pelicans got an F. But we got a B, a straight-up B, as far as what they're saying for us. They're a believer in Murray Boyles is what they're saying. But they're worried that we won't have enough shooters to make him good around our team or whatever. There's games in the WNBA. See, I missed Trevor. We don't talk about WNBA because he's not here. Atlanta and Minnesota are playing. Eric Bruton is the crew chief. Marcy Williams, Gerda Gatlin. Indiana Fever at Dallas. Roy Gibian, Randy Richardson, Kelsey Reynolds. Chicago Sky at Valkyries. Jenna Renault, Catherine Chang, Sarah Williams. Liberty at Mercury, and Amy Bonner, Blanca Burns, and Ryan Sassano. And Connecticut Sun at Seattle Storm, Ashley Gloss, Agana Bazi, and Biniam Maru. They've been using a lot of the same refs over and over again for the WNBA games. Once again, guys, go ahead and support Crave. It's a Bell company. It's not Rogers. Astral Media owned it before, and now Bell owns it. It's a streaming service. It's a Canadian streaming service. If you're trying to get more Canadian supportive, cut the Netflix cord and get Crave, a Canadian product, Canadian TV with more Canadian TV shows. You're supporting Canadian arts if you subscribe to Crave TV. And cut that cable cord while you're at it too. The WNBA fantasy has been going great. I'm 100 points ahead of Cool Cat right now. Fiercey's beating Logical. James is beating Edmund. Kaz is beating JP. And MK has got a slight lead over Kareem in their matchup. So set your lineups up tonight, man. Just some crazy news, man. And the Raptors saying, thank you, Masai Ujiri. I hate this. And the comments from the fans are all over the place. They're saying, why, though? It's Toronto's loss, honestly. You're the best. Thank you. Worst decision in the Masai era was the Masai out. Give this man a banner. He absolutely just transformed this franchise. Let Masai speak to the city, the country one final time. This is what the fans are saying right here. There's Rogers' angry face is what they're saying. Statue outside the arena ASAP. Boo, fire Ed Rogers. Worst posts I've seen all year. This is all kinds of crazy shit on here, man. And the fans are acting out now. You thought they acted out when Colin Murray Boyle said fuck? They're really acting out now with the news of Masai Ujiri parting ways with the Toronto Raptors this morning. This is absolutely bullshit and a fucked up story. Let's see if anybody else. Savannah Hamilton's posted thank you to Masai. And it's surreal is what she's saying right now. It is surreal and it's not right. Let's see what Slim Duck has got some, that crazy old man saying something about what happened here. Young Oach has got some diapers. He's got boxes of diapers getting ready for being a dad. And he's thanking the company for sending them. Yeah, a lot of not really official stuff. There's Keith Pelly's ugly ass on here. Keith Pelly speaks live at 1 p.m. Motherfucker. All right, maybe I am cussing Keith Pelly a little bit here. Yeah, I don't even want to go back to Blue Skies and just look at the latest news on Blue Skies about Masai and this bullshit right now. This is so crazy. Oh my gosh, man. Oh man. Oh gosh. All right, yeah, there's nothing new on there that I need to add right now. Raptors Reddit absolutely going crazy right now with everything happening. I really wanted to focus on the draft last night and the players we got, and Elijah Martin and Chucky Wepner and Clifford Omarui and Tyler, whatever his name is, from Boise. But alas, we got some bullshit now on the clock. And man, when they showed, this is weird. They had a Toronto Raptors thing where they showed on the clock and they played some music and they had Masai with his back to the camera and Bobby standing in the OVO. There was that's like some weird passing of the torch kind of thing. Go and watch that thing again from a day ago on the clock before the draft from 2 days ago. See what's up there, man. Everybody's giving their good stuff towards Masai. Everybody rightfully is doing the good stuff here. As far as the fans, we're understanding this. We had a top 5 overall record in the Masai era. So put respect on his name, everybody out there. Seriously. Happy birthday once again to Landry Fields, the former GM of the Atlanta Hawks, who's maybe replaced by this guy right here, man. Yeah, this is really a bad day in Raptors land, guys. It's really, really bad day. All right, I'm done. I'm getting out of here. And this is some bullshit. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and fucking delete a post by Tatanka because I'm mad. Tatanka, I don't give a shit about your damn son who's coming up from high school. He's not a classic wrestler. We're going to delete him off this page right here, right now, Tatanka. Yeah, I'm doing this for real. I'm talking about the real wrestler, Tatanka, Chris Chavez. He's in this group that I admin on Facebook, and he always posts pictures of his son wrestling in high school. And this is not classic wrestling, Tatanka. So it's getting deleted. Yeah, I'm taking it out on him a little bit. Let's see if there's any other wrestling posts that shouldn't be in here because they're not classic and somebody's not following the rules. No, it's just that one. Of course, it's a real wrestler, Tatanka, breaking the rules. Anyway, all right. Yeah, I'm shocked too, Monique. It's a tough one. All right, we're out. We're out. Shout out to Masai for bringing this community together. Yeah. In some ways, Masai is a part of why this Raptor Freak channel is here, man. That's right, man. Let's see. I want to read these last few comments, and we'll get out of here respectfully in the next minute. Let's see. Oh, wow. You guys filled it up a little bit right at the end here. Jillian's here. She's got a broken heart. That's sad. I don't like that. Good to see you, Jill. Nako's saying, go Raptors. I'm excited to see Elijah and CMB Summer League. Yeah. Well, at least Summer League's coming quick. That'll distract us. Maybe Atlanta will get Masai and Giannis. Isaac, you're funny, man. You're funny. Stargate saying, I really hope that he steps away from basketball. I hope Ramatu convinces him to do something else. Yeah, I do too. And that's just because in some ways what you did here is so perfect. What you do later will tarnish it. It's going to be just like Jordan playing for the Wizards, man. You don't want to go somewhere else because whatever you do somewhere else, it's not going to be what you did here. Seriously, I think you're badass and I think you could win championship with any other team, but it won't be special and feel like this. I'm telling you, if you go somewhere else, Ujiri, it'll be like Washington Wizards, Michael Jordan. I'm saying this right now. That's right. Cool Cat saying Masai will remain in the NBA industry. I've learned nothing is permanent in that industry. All of our chip players are gone. Execs are just the next phase. Yeah, you sound so sad and depressing, and I hate this, Cool Cat. Seriously, we don't need this clinical, surgical kind of attitude. We need heart right now. We need to feel this. And if you're acting like you're not feeling this with us, come on, Cool Cat. Don't be like this. Seriously, don't be like this. This is a sad day, and feel your feelings, all right? Feel the same way you felt when Siakam left. How about that? Seriously. Smith saying Ace Bailey did not fly to Utah. He's expected on Monday, they think. All right, a little distraction there. Kaloy saying, I know it's sad what happened with Ujiri, but it isn't just the Raptors that Masai lifted up. He lifted us fans up too. He gave us Raptors fans the swagger and pride for the city and team of ours. Yeah. And that's why when I met Masai Ujiri in person after the George Strombolopoulos show in 2014, the year after he joined the team, he only came in for a year at that point. I shook his hand and looked him in the eye and said, Masai, thank you for coming to Toronto and fixing my favorite team in the whole entire world. And I knew at that point he'd already fixed it, even though he hadn't had any success yet, because I believed in him and I knew he was going to be a badass. And I'm just feel so grateful that at the very beginning of his journey, I got to meet him and shake his hand 5 years before he brought the championship to Toronto and say, Masai, thank you for everything. Thank you for bringing us respect here in Toronto, because he did. He did immediately. I felt that respect as soon as he took the job. That's right. That's right. Let's celebrate and hope for the best. That's right. Ace Bailey bugging. That's right. Scott C saying, thank you for the real talk, Lex. Thanks, Masai, for the chip and spreading the raps around the world. Thank you, Scott C, for being here. And I appreciate you, man, subscribing to my channel. And yeah, please interact with us more every morning, 9:30 a.m. You know we're going to be here for the Raptors no matter what. And we will continue to do this every day, 365 days a year. And my win streak, my streak of doing streams is a win streak because I'm winning every time I do one. We'll be getting close to 1,400, y'all. 1,400 days in a row I've been doing this channel, man. It's crazy, man. You're welcome, Scott C. And thank you for being here, man. Isaac saying, shout out to Masai. Yeah. And bringing this community together. There you go. Peace, Tristan. And Blackhawks, I can't buy any more Raptors merchandise. I got to go on the tempo train. I mean, it is looking more attractive with Kilmer Group, and Larry's still in charge of that. Teresa, man, we love you. And thank God for Toronto Tempo. Thank God for Bobby Webster. Thank God for the Toronto Raptors, even if this news came out today. Stargate saying, let's just hope Masai has left a winning progressive legacy with his team, and we're moving forward towards winning, because I remember those Joey Graham, Lindsey Hunter days. Yeah. Yeah. Is this a Nico Harrison-like situation? No, it's not really. Because Nico, no, it's not really like that. It's not like that at all. I think the Dallas and the Raptors, apples to oranges, not even the same any kind of way, which way. And there's Jillian blowing the wind and the sun. There you go. And Wayne's saying, let's see if having class is maintained. That will be a tell. Yeah, we'll have to see the class and the excellence. You know, there was a little bit of signs this year. The extra stuff in the arena for in-game ops was cut costs. They didn't go all out for Giants of Africa this year. So there was a little bit of kind of signs on the wall. It's like, man, this is like the most subdued Giants of Africa ever. And I thought they were going to do something special for Dikembe, like a really huge celebration for him. But I guess maybe Rogers was like cost cutting already and said, Masai, this is one of the things you're going to have to deal with the new owner being Ed Rogers. I'm sorry, there's no funding for your Giants of Africa night. And we cannot do exactly the big extravaganza that you normally do. Because last year, I'm going to say this right now, a lot of the special event nights for Raptors, other than the 30th anniversary stuff, which we went all out for Vince Carter and the anniversary, Dunkiversary, stuff like that. The other stuff like the Caribbean Heritage Night and even the Giants of Africa night, they were not on the same level of what they've been in the past as far as going all out and the franchise spending money on them. So, yeah, it's kind of messed up, man. Tristan Trace getting rid of a significant person. That's right. Andrew saying, hey, guys, hope everyone is well. Thank you, Masai. I'm so sad, man. Good to see you, Raptor Freak Andrew. I've been wondering how you've been, man. Always wishing the best for you, and thank you for returning for a second. Gut in the city. It's similar. Yeah, we're not gutting the city. Let's not over-rationalize this or over-dramatize this. This is a sad day, but in some ways, we can get past this. In some ways, we can get past this. Chris, I'm saying, man, I'm speechless. I said within the last month the Masai is ever out. So am I, but I'm going to stick with it for now because I like this roster. Still trying to figure out how we didn't get Common. Well, I think I might have figured it out today. Fierce is saying, sharing the love for Masai tomorrow's suiting. I'm sad. Yeah, we'll be on. We'll be on. And Stargate saying Chev has a Masai video out. Wonder what he's saying. I'm sure he's saying some bullshit. I'm sure it could very well be Chev is gloating about this in some fucking fucked up way. Well, Chev, show your true colors even more and more. I show my colors every day. And yeah, purple is one of those colors, but red and black is the other one. That's right. Andrew saying, I still believe in Bobby. I do too. Rogers never ate a Jamaican patty in his life. That's probably true too. Yeah, that's probably true. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching me, man. To be honest, I really like the CMB pick. He has potential to be one of the best defenders in the draft. Well, our defense did get better for next year, and we were already a really good defensive team. So let's see what happens. We got offense with Scott, RJ, Emmanuel, Brandon, Grady, Jacoby. So hopefully there will be enough offensive firepower to go along with this very stellar defensive cast that we built here. That's right. Yeah, I think Bobby's got us. We'll have to see. All right, guys. I'll see y'all tomorrow for the Saturday Share Love Club. We got to say farewell to Masai in the right way and share the utmost respect and love for President Masai. We love him so much. Wayne's saying, no, Chev was not gloating. Wants Masai's shirt up on first night. He wants to get his jersey retired. Yeah, I think that you do that for him. I think you do. Rogers, you piece of shit. You may not do it, but hopefully I'll hope for the day that maybe you are not the owner and we have somebody come in and do it in your place. Seriously. Yeah. You'll be listening on Discord. I'll be there too. I'll be there too, guys. All right, guys. G saying, I like CMB too. I don't want him to feel like he was an afterthought due to Masai stuff. Let's embrace him. No, I think he'll be fine, man. He's a smart kid. And it looks like everything's been smoothed over after the very rough initial drafting of him. Yeah, Isaac's saying, I have a business decision for you. Call Rogers and tell them you are with Masai and cut the cable. There you go. Put your money where your mouth is. And I love that Isaac said, go ahead and tell them I'm leaving because y'all got rid of Masai Ujiri. There you go. Some of that money that you could have paid Masai is out of your company altogether now. And, Donald Trump found out with tariffs. Well, Rogers, you're going to find out now too today just how much of an economic impact this might have for your company. Let's go Raptors. And let's keep our eyes on the prize, Raptor Freaks. In some ways, this is a very, very sad day for our franchise, a day I never wanted to see come. But we have to go forward, and we have to try and do things still. And hopefully the Raptors will be the best absolute Raptors they can possibly be going forward in the future to collect more Larry O'Briens, like the one over my shoulder right there. That's right. That's right. Jillian saying, Block TO says they're looking for a new president. Yeah, you're way behind. We've talked about this already, Jill. We said, why the hell would you just keep him instead of trying to find a new president? Anyway, I am out. Hasta la vista, baby. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Saturday Share Love Club. Thank you for subscribing, supporting, liking, commenting, and joining the channel as members. Guys, people like Tristan, Smooth Brown Man, Shaq Lindsay, Isaac Campbell. You guys, I appreciate y'all for being my monthly subscribers. It really does help me with supplementing my income. And I appreciate you guys. All right. All the best. Roger Raymond also. I appreciate everybody. And I'll see you guys tomorrow at 9:30. Let's go, Raptors. Fuck you, Ed Rogers. Masai, we love you. You'll always be a legend. And in Toronto and Canada, you will never be forgotten. Never. Never, ever. Please don't go to another team. Please. Let's go Raptors. That's right.